Current temp 5 degrees. It feels like -9. I'm Dana Clark, WJR Traffic and Weather first.
Join Ann Thomas and Luann Thomas-Ewald for Win a New Lead on WJR, a spotlight show on women who are leading the way in business, civics, and humanity. Women Who Lead, brought to you in part by Michigan Medicine, part of University of Michigan Health.
Now, it's more important than ever to have quality health care. United Healthcare Plans just received a 5 out of 5 stars rating for quality and service. That's the highest rating possible. Plus, with coverage from United Healthcare, you can get more for your Medicare dollar. With great benefits like $0 for Tier 1 prescriptions, $0 copays on primary care and virtual visits, dental, vision, and hearing coverage, and much more. Switch to a top plan from United Healthcare and get the healthcare you deserve. Call United Healthcare today at 1-800-SHOP-UHC. That's 1-800-SHOP-UHC. United Healthcare is there to help you get even more from your benefits. That number again is 1-800-SHOP-UHC. Benefits, features, or devices vary by plan and area. Limitations and exclusions apply. Every year, Medicare evaluates plans based on a 5-star rating system. Medicare Advantage plan star rating applies to contract numbers H0294, H2001, H2226, H3794, H4590, H5253, and H5420 that are rated 5 out of 5 stars for 2022.
Are you a small business owner trying to figure out the best tech options for your small business? Join Dell Technologies on Thursday, January 27th for a free webinar to break it all down and get you pointed in the right direction. To register, visit startupnation.com/Dell.
Ever have questions about your prescriptions, even in the middle?
Boy, oh boy.
Well, Walgreens now offers Pharmacy Chat 24/7, so you can ask an expert about things like the correct dosage of your medications or possible side effects. Speaking of side effects, the side effect of getting your questions answered at 2 a.m.? Sleeping much easier for the next 6 hours. Try Pharmacy Chat today or tonight, online or on the Walgreens app.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. And now, during our January sale, save $1,000 on the.
Yeah, they say Farm Bureau Insurance, like it says on the thing there, right? It's not just Farm Bureau.
Minimum monthly payments required. See store for
details. Like, for example, Huntington doesn't say bank anymore.
Welcome to this Paul W. Smith special edition on 760 WJR, the Michigan 2022 State of the State Address. This special live coverage is sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Here's Paul.
Good Thursday morning to you. It's the 27th of January, 27th day of 2022. There are 338 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift, and it is indeed a special day, a virtual day. If you want to tune in and watch us, it's a frightening sight, but we're here at WJR.com or any number of our social media platforms. I'll let Ann explain all of that in a moment. It's our post-State of the State show. We do this every year. The last couple of years, it's been virtual. Before that, we'd be coming to you live from Lansing, which is what we hope we can do next year at this time. Who knows, though, with all the different variants of this COVID-19, but we'll see. Hopefully, we're moving toward learning to live with it at this point. And our virtual post-State of the State show brought to you, as you just heard, by Farm Bureau Insurance, Enbridge, and the Michigan Health and Hospital Association. We thank them for making it possible to come to you live and online, on radio, and on camera, if you will. We've got the team all together. We've got our WJR senior news analyst, Fox News correspondents and contributors, really good guests that matter. That's certainly true today, including the governor of the great state of Michigan, right after her, hot after her State of the State address last night. And of course, you, a very important part of this whole machine that we have together. You're a part of the most informed and the best audience in all of radio. You heard Dana just do our WJR Traffic and Weather when she does the weather lately, we end up wanting to say when she finishes and says, for example, it's 6 degrees right now, we want to say, thank you, Dana. Thanks a lot. But it's not her fault. She's in sales, not in production, as you know. Meanwhile, Ann Thomas, our executive producer, assistant program director, and Sean Belegian by our sides and in front of the camera for you this morning as well. Good morning, guys. I thought, you can like the governor, you can dislike the governor, you can like what she's done, dislike what she's done. You may have liked some of the things and not liked some of the things. Wherever you stand, I thought she presented a fine state of the state address. That's what you want. Your governor standing in front of you, smiling with a positive message. I know people have all kinds of things they're complaining about because that's what people do, but you don't want the governor to come up and say, wow, things are bad.
Well, you know what, Paul?
It's really ugly out there, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm using this time to put myself down.
There's a couple of things everybody's going to like, Paul. First of all, they're going to like the idea of capping the cost of insulin because it's gotten out of control.
And it's good that you say everybody, because if the medical community and the world has its way, everybody will eventually be on insulin.
Right.
That's another story.
That's another story.
The plague of diabetes. Yeah, indeed.
And then the other one is returning the retirement tax, the pension tax, getting rid of that.
Why am I reading and post this? Because when I heard her, I didn't hear her say that was happening just for state employees who have a retirement plan. I read that to mean everyone in Michigan who has a retirement plan. I didn't, maybe the things I read were what people were thinking she was going to say, but we'll ask her. But I didn't hear any specific thing that made me believe that if I wasn't a state employee getting a retirement plan, I'd still be taxed. I didn't. Did you get that? You didn't get that, Ann. Did you get that, Sean?
No. Nope.
I didn't either. So I don't know what that was about. But, it's one of those things where if you like the person, you think they did a great job. If you don't like the person, you didn't think it was a great job. I look at it, first of all, I treat all the governors the same with respect. Some I agreed with more than others, including this one. But I go into something like the State of the State last night, and I go in with eyes wide open, and I expect them to do a positive speech. And all I can say is she did. I thought she looked good, and I'd say that if she were a man, because I'm talking about the ability to stand in front of a camera, read the teleprompter, and do it well. And we've had people who can't do that well. So she did, and I don't know. What are some of your thoughts, Sean?
I was quite happy. You made reference to it earlier, Paul. The whole COVID thing. I was quite happy that there wasn't time spent on it. I really think that people are fatigued by it across the board, not from a political standpoint. Let me make that crystal clear. But I think that people are fatigued by it. And I think that along the lines of what you said a few minutes ago, we need to start learning to live with this thing. And quite frankly, I felt that way for a long, long time, as I know many other people have. And I'm grateful that there wasn't just a ton of time devoted to that. And she made a point to say, I think the line was, let me be crystal clear, kids belong in school. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was good.
Positively, let's all move on.
You know what my first indication was that's how the night was going to go, was when I saw the lieutenant governor for the first time in 2 years, I don't know how long, without a mask on. When he did her opening, basically, he was her opening act. He did the introduction. The first thing I noticed, because it struck me, he had no mask. And I went, okay, the tone is set for the evening. And then she came out, and she didn't have to make a show of taking the mask off to prove she was wearing a mask and all of that stuff. So good point, Sean. I think that was a big deal. Some people may not even have understood what was happening, but subliminally, it was a good sign that the masks were gone at this point. I mean, because there was no reason for a mask. When we see the president with no one around him and he's wearing a mask, it's just a show trying to get everybody to wear a mask, but there was no need for a mask when you're all alone. You need a mask when you're around people, etc., if you believe in that. I have since March of 2 years ago. It's coming up on 2 years this March. And I've also been the one who has always said N95 masks. Took the CDC and everybody else a very long time to admit that was the case. We have a good show, and this is kind of our yearly virtual now, a couple of years now, virtual post State of the State address, and you've got a pretty good lineup of guests.
Absolutely, Paul. We've got all kinds of different guests. We have people from both sides of the aisle. And our first guest coming up, Sandy Baruja, the Detroit Regional Chamber President and CEO. It'll be interesting to see what he thinks about the speech, because that matters.
I always like talking to Sandy Baruja, and we'll look forward to that. Will many of our guests be on a camera and on a microphone, like on the radio and on? And by the way, it's WJR.com. Where else can they see us?
Facebook Live. So they can just go to Facebook, Paul.
There she is.
They can just go to Facebook.
Okay. Facebook.
WJR's Facebook page.
All right.
And
I saw your lips moving. Good. Very good. I saw your lips moving with nothing coming out at one point. But now your lips are moving, and I heard you. And so far, so good. We made it through the first 15 minutes of the program without any major problems. But stick around. The morning is young as we continue on WJR.
How did we ever come to the belief that we have no control over the inevitability of heart attack or stroke? That it was somehow predestined in our genes, inherited, or inevitable due to some random chance that outsmarted the medical field? We've come to accept these two fallacies, but the fact is that heart attack and stroke are 100% preventable, and cardiac disease is reversible. It's not in the genes, it's in your profile. It's time to take charge of your health. Call Dr. Brian Collender at 866-KOLENDER.
Well, I'll tell you, the NFL conference championships are absolutely here, and they're not going to be able to match what they did last weekend. But to celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking new customers up with 30-1 enhanced odds for either conference championship. Bet $5 to win $150 on any team to win either conference championship game. Now, I'll tell you, you just sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook and you make a deposit to claim your 30-1 enhanced odds. There's no better place to bet on the NFL playoffs than on America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel. It's a simple and easy way to do it. You use that app. It's very simple. I mean, I can do it, so you can. Generous promotions every day. It's safe and secure with best-in-class customer service. And when you win, FanDuel can pay your winnings in as little as 2 hours. Already have FanDuel Sportsbook? Well, FanDuel is hooking all customers up with $50 when you refer a friend. Plus, your friend will also get the $50. Don't miss your chance to win $150 off a $5 bet when you use promo code PaulW, one word, PaulW, when signing up. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app using promo code PaulW and pick your conference championship team before kickoff.
21 and older and present in Michigan. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Maximum bonus $150. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Sean Baligian and Bill Keenest present the highlights, happenings, and history of American football, covering everything from high school ball, the NCAA, and the...
Hey, Sandy.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I just get a little a mic check here. So,
okay. 1, 2, 3, 12, 97 and a half.
He never could count. I knew that. He could never count.
So everybody you can hear Sandy, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning.
How are you, Sandy? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you guys. Hope you guys are doing well.
Farm Bureau understands.
Yeah. We hope we're doing well, too.
All right, I will put Sandy backstage once you call from. I'll bring him up and then have a good segment, Sandy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks.
Marketplace Minute.
Says it's been spending more on hiring.
During your afternoon snack.
Hey Google, play the Marketplace Minute. Upward swings and indices in Europe and Asia.
The Marketplace Minute, a podcast and smart speaker briefing updated 3 times daily. Ask your smart speaker to play the Marketplace Minute. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This moment is brought to you by Mega Millions. You're 6 numbers away from your moment.
Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $421 million.
WJR Traffic and Weather first.
This report is sponsored by Macy's. It's Macy's Big Home Sale. Stock up on fresh sheets and bedding from Charter Club, Damask Designs, or shop specials like air fryers from Bella, Crux, and more. And the spacious 4-piece Radley sectional. Plus, Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees.
Cold start once again this morning. Definitely have to crank on those heated seats. Let the vehicle warm up for just a few minutes. We are watching 2 problems. 94 westbound at Cashew, accident partially blocking the exit ramp. 75 northbound after La Pleasance, a wreck there in Monroe blocking your right 2 lanes. Now, WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Buying or leasing a vehicle today can be almost impossible unless you buy the Gordon Chevrolet way. Unlike other dealers, Gordon Chevrolet always honors employee pricing plans for your best price. Ford Road just west of Merriman in Garden City. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies for us here today. Not quite as cold as we were yesterday. Southwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. There is a chance for a few flurries or a couple of snow showers later today, 27. A couple of snow showers tonight, otherwise cloudy skies, low near 7. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ken Boone on News Talk 760 WJR.
Now back to live coverage of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's virtual State of the State address for 2022, sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
And a very good Thursday morning to you on this 27th day of 2022. Let's find out how people are reacting, important people like you and like Sandy Barua, the Detroit Regional Chamber President and CEO. Good morning, Sandy. Happy New Year. We haven't talked, I don't think, yet in this new year. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Paul W. And I'm glad I made the list of important people. I'm not sure I deserve to be on that list of important people, but I'll take it this morning.
Well, I realized when I was talking myself into a corner there, because every one of our listeners are important when it comes to reacting to what our governor has to say. But I would like to hear what the head of such an important organization, the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce, feels about the speech. What was the most important thing from your standpoint, your membership, and what you're trying to accomplish, which is a lot? What was the most important thing you thought the governor said?
It was short. Loved it.
24 minutes?
Yeah, I tell you, Paul W., I am all in favor of doing away with the pomp and circumstance. I've been to enough of these that I'm happy not to have the drive to Lansing. I'm happy not to have all of that time. But in all seriousness, listen, Gretchen Whitmer is a compelling public speaker, and she certainly showed that yesterday. It was well delivered. It was a tight speech. I would say it was Clinton-esque in the sense that she really stayed away from polarizing issues. She stuck to issues that had relatively broad appeal. From our organization's standpoint, there were 3 important things that she said. One, the electric vehicle tax credit, the additional $2,500. We think that's very important for Michigan's economy. We think it's very important in order for Michigan to maintain the lead in this new electric car revolution. Secondly, the education increase, we think that's important as well, too. We are not investing enough in education. That's really showing up in our workforce. So that is a step in the right direction. And the earned income tax credit is a really solid way to get more families out of poverty. And we think that's important, too. So those were 3 strong proposals that she had that we were supportive of.
What didn't you hear that you might have liked to have heard?
Well, certainly, I think she put the most positive spin that she possibly could on bipartisanship in Lansing. Yes, we've had some bipartisan wins in Lansing, but at the end of the day, other states are spending their ARP funds and the other federal stimulus that went to the states in much more effective fashion than we are. That is caught up in bipartisan gridlock on both sides. I think that's an issue. She didn't touch on that at all. That's a huge opportunity for Michigan if we do that correctly. The other thing is that I'm glad she celebrated the win last month in the economic development package, which we were, very much a part of, and that led to yesterday's announcement from General Motors, which is fabulous news for the auto industry and for the workers of Michigan. But she didn't say what was next. The victory last month for the economic development legislation that so many of us worked so hard for got us to yesterday. What about tomorrow?
And that what about tomorrow question looms in my mind, too, in that we are in an unprecedented moment in our history. We are flush with cash, unlike anything I can ever remember, maybe you too, because of a lot of things, but certainly a big part of it are the billions of dollars being thrown around by the federal government. This can't go on forever. So I'm concerned that we're going to start programs that will make us all happy and look fabulous, but I'm wondering if we can maintain them without this unbelievable influx of happy money, found cash.
I actually, Paul W., I love that term, happy money. And you're absolutely right. We cannot. And I think the governor understands this. And I know the Republican legislative leadership understands this. And we've been stressing on this, is that we cannot, with this federal money, create ongoing programs that require a new revenue source that does not exist, right? This is one-time federal money that came from both from the Trump and Biden administrations. We're sitting on money from both administrations. Both were very generous. That spigot has now essentially been turned off. The chances of that money continuing are some number less than zero now with the political environment in Washington. So how do we use the dollars that we're sitting on, which is, as you said, billions of dollars, for one-time uses really smartly that'll put Michigan in a more competitive situation? We cannot just create new programs that require ongoing funding. That's just not going to work.
Good point. A good place to start for things that we would do that we actually could conclude with this money is fix the roads, which is, of course, what has been talked about a million times, including last night.
Yes, and listen, and she did make some real progress early in her administration to fund infrastructure, and we're very thankful for that. I think all of us who drive on the roads are seeing a small improvement, right? They're not as bad as they used to be. We have a long way to go, not just with roads, but with bridges and with underground infrastructure. I mean, look at the dam situation that in Midland 2 years ago, right? I mean, that's just an unconscionable a degradation of our infrastructure. So we need to have a continued focus on long-term infrastructure, including long-term funding that goes beyond the gifts that came from both the Trump and Biden administrations.
Quick personal note: you and Lisa, your lovely wife, had a wonderful invitation to join the Bush family for a special, very special occasion. Do you mind sharing a little of that with us? I find that exciting, frankly.
Oh, you're talking.
People don't remember Sandy's role in Washington. Sandy was a big deal in Washington, D.C. during the Bush administration. We're lucky to have him here as the head of the Detroit Regional Chamber, as our president and CEO. Can you, in a minute, just share a little bit about what that was all about?
Yeah, at least about once a year, President Bush and Mrs. Bush invite alumni, people who work for them. I worked for President Bush for 8 years, and other people who were associated with the administration for a cocktail party, a quick meet and greet, get another picture taken. And actually from Michigan, it was myself. I was head of the SBA, and Yusuf Ghaffari, who was an ambassador.
Good old
we were
Yusuf.
both down there and caught up with the president and Mrs. Bush, and that was great. The president is always just delightful with Lisa, and I just love that. So it was fun to catch up with them.
Did you wear your very special, I know you have lots of them, but did you wear your very special George W. Bush cufflinks?
I with COVID, the last time I wore cufflinks was before COVID. Listen, I think the president was happy that I was wearing pants.
Well, I let me speak for the president, which I rarely do. We were all happy you were wearing pants, Sandy.
Yeah. The president and Delta Airlines were both very happy that I showed up wearing pants.
Oh, well, it's good to know the president of Delta Airlines was there. Speaking of other important companies for Detroit. All right, always a pleasure. Best to Lisa, and let's make it a great year. Best we can, Sandy.
Thank you so much, Paul W., and always love to Kim.
Thank you so much. Sandy Baruah, the president, CEO of the Detroit Regional Chambers. We continue on WJR.
John Wagner of DTE Energy has this to say about the work his team is doing right now.
I'm the general supervisor for the Pontiac Service Center, which consists of around 50 employees, 15 crews. As the infrastructure gets rebuilt, there's a lot of technology that goes along with that, which improves reliability and efficiency. Building the grid of the future means everyone can be more confident in their power.
To learn more, visit empoweringmichigan.com. DTE.
Well, perfect day for the gas fireplace.
When it's cold out, you can still stay cozy thanks to DTE Natural Gas. It's the clean, reliable, and the most affordable energy source because DTE buys gas in the summer when prices are low and stores it for winter, so your bill will stay affordable, even in the coldest times.
A cup of cocoa, a warm fire.
Now that's comfy.
Find out more at DTEenergy.com. DTE.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Is your prostate waking you up more often than your alarm clock? The fact is, the older you get, the more likely you'll have prostate problems, which can affect your everyday life. That's where Prostate Complete by Real Health comes in. Prostate Complete is the result of 20 years of experience as a leader in men's health. The powerful formula in Prostate Complete supports natural prostate function and reduced urinary urges for a better quality of life. Available at Walmart. Visit prostateoneperday.com for special offers. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Biden pledged to nominate the first black woman to the Supreme Court given the opportunity, which he now has with Justice Stephen Breyer retiring.
These are the names that we have been tracking. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson sits on the very powerful D.C. Circuit, and she clerked for Justice Breyer. California State Supreme Court Justice Leandra Kruger. She's actually argued 12 cases before the Supreme Court. Another federal judge who recently went through the Senate confirmation process is Judge Candace Jackson Ukumi.
Fox's Shannon Breen. 2 arrests in the shooting death of an 8-year-old girl in Chicago.
A 16-year-old believed to be the shooter, also charged, is a 27-year-old facing first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder charges as well. Melissa Ortega was struck by stray gunfire Saturday. She and her mom had just migrated to Chicago from Mexico 6 months ago.
Nate Rogers with Fox 32 Chicago. America's listening to Fox News.
Wjr Traffic and Weather first.
This report is sponsored by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
In Monroe, 75 northbound after La Pleasance Road, a wreck there is blocking your right 2 lanes. Ramp restrictions, accident partially blocking the exit ramp of 94 eastbound at Cashew. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com provides high-quality storage products for a variety of industries, from Unirack pallet racking and pushback high-density racking and distribution centers to its selection of MetroMax polymer shelving, ideal for food service and healthcare. That's Shelving.com. We rack your world. It's going to be a cold one once again today, but we do feel like it's going to be a little bit better, at least this afternoon. Cloudy skies this morning, some snow showers possible, a high of 27 tonight. Cloudy skies overnight, low 10. Currently about 5 degrees with the wind chill feels like -9. I'm Dana Clark, WJR Traffic and Weather first.
Everyone's talking about labor shortages and all the related price increases.
If you're a homeowner or a contractor, we know the struggles you both have trying to find trustworthy people that can help. The Inside Outside guys want to help homeowners and contractors alike with our over 80 years of combined housing experience.
Go where thousands of Michigan homeowners go every month for help with their homes, theinsideoutsideguys.com.
For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
The Inside Outside guys are brought to you in part by Motor City Floors and Coatings.
Paul W. here. During the winter months, there's a lot of dirt buildup on the garage floor. It can ruin your concrete. Well, my friends at Motor City Floors and Coatings have transformed homes all over Michigan with their concrete coating system. 4 times stronger than epoxy, offering over 20 different colors to choose from, and all backed by a 15-year warranty. They can change that ugly garage or basement floor any time of year. Get a free estimate today at MotorCityFloorsandCoatings.com. That's MotorCityFloorsandCoatings.com. Powered by Mr. Coatings.
Baker deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Now back to live coverage of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's virtual State of the State address for 2022. Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
6 degrees. Yes, it is cold out. And I think Dana said the wind chill is like -7, but 6 is cold enough. -7 is even worse if you want to think about it. But bundle them up. Yourself, your loved ones, your pets. It's dangerously cold out there. It's winter in Michigan. As you know, last night the governor did her State of the State address. She was at Detroit Diesel, a location rich in automotive history. To tell us a little bit about that and more is our WJR senior news analyst, Marie Osborne. Good morning, Marie.
And good morning, Paul. You know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? Well, the significance of the location of last night's State of the State was not lost on anyone. The governor spoke from the Detroit Diesel in Redford Township, an engine manufacturer, which dovetailed beautifully with her message of kitchen table issues. During the speech, a long camera shot of the governor showed several electric vehicles behind her. This week, General Motors announced it would invest $7 billion in 4 manufacturing facilities, spending $2.6 billion to build a new battery factory in the Lansing area, $4 billion to convert its existing factory in Orion Township to make electric pickups. Detroit Diesel was built in 1938 in World War II. Tanks, landing craft, road building equipment, and standby generators needed compact, lightweight two-cycle engines, and they came from Detroit Diesel. In 1943, Detroit Diesel employed 4,300 people. More than 1,400 of them were women. Together, these employees produced more than 57,000 engines in 1943. That was a record. In the 1950s, wide use of GM's Detroit diesel engines in military applications and just their general acceptance in commercial applications, Detroit Diesel developed heavy-duty engines for long-distance trucks. That was a big milestone. In 1999, Detroit Diesel built its 4 millionth engine. In 2000, Daimler Chrysler bought Detroit Diesel Corporation. Today, it's a hub of electric vehicle technology employing hundreds of people. And Paul, that backdrop, an important element of the message for Governor Whitmer last night.
It is there's great history there, including the history that includes Roger Penske, who's such an important part of Michigan and has been so important for Detroit and everything that he continues to do for our area. I thought the governor did a fine job in terms of presenting a speech. She did it all the way that it should be done. Not everyone always is able to pull that off and to look right at the camera and smile and give us a positive feeling about what she's saying, which is really what the State of the State address is all about. She'll get into the nuts and bolts, and the things people will argue about will have to do with the budget hearings, meetings, and speeches. So, but I thought she did well last night.
Yeah, it's interesting when it's always been a live event, right? With a lot of people in the chambers and Lansing and the raucous applauding and all that. Sometimes that can throw you off your game when you're trying to do a speech. I would imagine. I've never had that opportunity, but I would imagine that does. So it's interesting that she just had that chance last night to just look at the camera and deliver her speech, just nuts and bolts, and get it out there. So yeah, she did. I thought she did well as well. She laid out what her messaging was, and that was what was important.
Yeah, last time I gave a State of the State address, it was when the crowd's there, you feed off the cheering and the I've never given a State of the State address. Just anyway, when you said you hadn't had the experience, I neither have I. So I do want to veer off just a little bit, and I thought I'd be seeing you, and are you wearing black?
I am.
See, I knew it. I can't see you, but you're mourning the end of an era on Jeopardy with Amy Schneider's reign has ended.
Yeah, she lost last night. She lost to a guy who and it was just kind of a librarian, in fact, from Chicago. He played very, very well. She's Amy Schneider won 40 games. She is now the second winningest contestant on Jeopardy. She had over 1,300,000 in winnings, like $1,382,800. That's her ultimate winnings. And it was just so interesting to watch her. She was a little off her game last night, and it really cost her because this other guy was really on it. And she lost in the final Jeopardy question, the only nation in the world whose name in English ends in an H. It's also one of the most populous. I knew the answer. My husband did too. We knew it right off the bat. I think it was one of those things that either you know or you don't. It's Bangladesh. And she wasn't able to answer the question. And so she lost.
She didn't even put a guess down, which was, I thought, unusual.
Yeah, she's been a little off on her final Jeopardy in the last several games. And, it's interesting, after the game, she did some interviews and she talked about how, there's a lot of pressure winning all these games and going out there and performing time and time and time again. And she said she thought there was a little fatigue playing a role in this. And something else that was very interesting, too, is Ken Jennings, of course, who's hosting this segment of Jeopardy. He talked about the day that he lost to this other contestant. He'd won 74 games. And he said he knew when he met her that she was totally unfazed by him. And Amy Schneider said she had the same reaction to this guy before the show when she met him. She thought, oh, this guy is just not at all intimidated by me. And that maybe that played in their minds, who knows? But this was the guy who unseated her.
Yeah, and we'll see how far he can go. She did great. She's first woman to surpass $1 million in regular season winnings. And you know much more about this because you follow it. I do not, but I loved reading this last night, preparing for this conversation, that unbelievably, in 8th grade, she was voted most likely to compete on Jeopardy!
Yeah, how do you like that? She also got a perfect score on her SAT, I read. And the one thing that I really particularly loved about this contestant, because you look at them and you think, oh, they've just got to be so smart. And she said, I'm just curious. And I love curiosity in people. And she said, I am just curious. She goes, she talked about when she was little and her mother would read her a book and there would be some, reference to like a different location or maybe a type of clothing or something. And her mother would say to her, "Ooh, let's find out more about that." And she said she learned to then ask lots of questions and to be curious about everything. And she said that's the only reason she's done so well is because she said she's got a very good memory.
That's got to help. You got to have a very good memory.
Oh, heavens, yes, right?
All that knowledge, but to remember it and under pressure to remember it's a big deal. Speaking of pressure, I want you to feel no pressure at all, but today happens to be National Chocolate Cake Day. Paul said to the big baker of the team. Just pointing out, this is not pressure to make a chocolate cake.
I'll whip something up for you.
Knowing that it's one of our favorites, and it's its special day, so it would just make sense. But I'm just passing that along.
Throwing it out there.
In case you happen to pass by your kitchen there at your home studio. All right. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you, Paul.
Appreciate the work as we continue. Marie Osborne, WJR Senior News Analyst, as we continue this special broadcast, virtual on WJR.com, on our WJR Facebook page. It's our post-State of the State show, brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, Enbridge, and the Michigan Health and Hospital Association. We thank those sponsors for making today's broadcast possible as we continue on WJR at 644.
2022 will be another exciting year for General Motors as we continue to deliver on our plan for 30 new electric vehicles globally by 2025. You'll see the latest examples this year with the all-new GMC Hummer EV, the production of the all-new all-electric Cadillac Lyriq, and of course the big news this month, the unveiling of the all-new Chevrolet Silverado EV. GM's strategy of an all-electric future is happening now. And we can't wait to show you what's next.
He flew fighter jets in 2 wars and taught you how to drive a car. He fed everyone on the block, but never shared his secret recipes. And every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorpsConnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
646, now up to 7 degrees on this Thursday morning. Metro Detroit has trusted Metro Cars for over 30 years as the official transportation company of WJR. Metro Cars chauffeurs thousands of passengers around Southeast Michigan every week. Look for safety, comfort, and reliability. Make sure your car says Metro Cars on the side. You want the original and official Metro Cars. Our official Metro car from WJR, we've been with them for 30 years, and personally, we've been with them for our families, too, for 30 years. Visit metrocars.com today. That's metrocars.com. Visit them today.
Join Ann Thomas and Luann Thomas Ewald for Women Who Lead on WJR, a spotlight show on women who are leading the way in business, civics, and humanity. Women Who Lead, brought to you in part by Michigan Medicine, part of University of Michigan Health.
Everyone's talking about labor shortages and all the related price increases.
If you're a homeowner or a contractor, we know the struggles you both have trying to find trustworthy people that can help. The inside-outside guys want to help homeowners and contractors alike with our over 80 years of combined housing experience.
Go where thousands of Michigan homeowners go every month for help with their homes, theinsideoutsideguys.com.
For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
The Inside Outside Guys are brought to you in part by Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning.
We're weeks into the season and it's staying cold. You may have noticed your furnace is quite old. It clanks and it clatters. It isn't quite heating. Through the years, it took quite a beating. A new Bryant gas furnace would be a thrill to keep you cozy and warm with a low energy bill. Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning installs and warranties their work. Plus, 0% financing is quite a perk. Tune-ups as low as $59. Give Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning a holler. Sharon'sHeatingandAir.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
WJR Traffic and Weather first from the WinBet Traffic and Weather Center. Download the WinBet app today on the Apple Store or Google Play. Win with WinBet.
This report is sponsored by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
94 westbound at Cashew. That earlier accident is clear from the exit ramp in Monroe this morning. 75 northbound after La Pleasance. A wreck blocking your right two lanes. About a 23-minute delay from Otter Creek. Now, WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the National Electrical Contractors Association, NECA, and IBEW Local 58. Put the expertise and skill of NECA signatory contractors and IBEW electricians to work on your commercial, public, industrial, or residential construction project. Productivity and innovation matter. Learn more at poweringmichigansfuture.com.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies today. A couple of flurries or even a few snow showers possible today. Gusty southwest winds, highs upper 20s. A couple of snow showers tonight, otherwise mostly cloudy, cold, low near 7. We're in and out of the clouds tomorrow, colder, high 18. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone on Newstalk 760 WJR.
Now back to live coverage of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's virtual State of the State address for 2022, sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
And along with talking about last night's State of the State address, we've got some other issues that matter and affect all of us, including this conversation with Dr. Kevin Ward, a professor of emergency medicine and biomedical engineering at Michigan Medicine and executive director of the Max Harry Weil Institute for Critical Care Research and Innovation. And we're talking about how the specialty in ICU might move forward in the next 10 to 20 years. It's the future of critical care medicine is what we're talking about, sometimes called intensive care medicine. It's existed for less than 40 years, but the changes this field has seen over that time span have been immense. And of course, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen how vital critical care is and will be in the future. Given all these rapid changes we're seeing in healthcare, it's likely that critical care medicine is the future. It will bear little resemblance to what we know today as intensive care, critical care. We talk about the critical care as a specialty, but not everyone knows exactly what that means. Dr. Kevin Ward, good morning. Welcome to the Paul W. Smith Show. And can you define that for us?
Hi, good morning, and thanks for having me on. Yeah, if I ask, your audience what cancer care is, everyone pretty much has a great idea about cancer care. They may have had a family member who's had cancer. They've seen commercials on cancer. They've been asked to donate to cancer causes. We have a lot of great cancer centers in the area. But when you ask people what critical care is, they're a little less clear. And critical care is really one of those multidisciplinary specialties where we're charged with intervening within minutes to hours to days to save someone who's severely ill or injured. So examples of those illnesses and injuries may be overwhelming infections like pneumonia and sepsis, could be a stroke, a heart attack, bad car accident, for example, premature birth, for example, where the team sort of comes together and, again, applies all their skills as a team to get you through this, to restore you back to that state before you became severely ill or injured. But a lot of challenges involved there because critical care doesn't always take place at one location. It can begin in the field by the paramedics, continue in the emergency department, transfer there to the operating room, then to the ICUs and beyond. So it's really sort of a great team sport. But as you pointed out, we've only been a specialty for about 40 years, which is pretty young when you consider the House of Medicine. Another just fact is that critical care accounts for about 40% of all hospital costs. And the COVID pandemic has really sort of called attention to the importance of critical care.
It certainly has. And it's been in critical positions sometimes, and people in beds, in hallways, and everywhere else. We have pushed our medical community to the wall and then some. And I salute all of you behind the scenes and really in the forefront in the critical care areas for the job that you've been able to do. I hope you're seeing the let up that we keep talking about. Is there sign of that, Doc?
Well, you know, we've gone through these ebbs and flows and waves. I think we're on the downward trend for the current COVID surge, but, you know, we've been there before and we've seen that. So the only time will tell. The challenge for us is that, you know, while COVID, you know, continues to challenge us, we still have to take care of our regular clientele who become critically ill and injured. So, you know, part of one of the big challenges was as people put off healthcare because we were, you know, quarantining and trying to be very careful about exposures. Some of those disease states got worse. But, you know, we're still having to take care of many critically ill and injured patients who don't have COVID. And when you combine that with our patients who are critically ill with COVID, it really does stress the system. And that really, you know, calls out why we need such innovation and sort of refocus on the field.
Let's get back to that. Where do transformative changes, innovation in critical care come from?
Yeah, well, they come from need, basically. So I've been practicing critical illness or critical care and emergency care for about 30 years, and I wish we had more transformative technologies to come from. I mean, the things we talked about, traumatic brain injury, stroke, car accidents, sepsis, acute lung injury, these things really require almost science fiction solutions to bring about things that are really, really transformative. So our center is named after Max Weil, and Dr. Weil was a real innovator in the field. In the late 50s, he actually came up with an aha moment and said, you know, we need to group critically injured and ill patients together in one place so that we can closely monitor him. He was actually a University of Michigan graduate, an engineer, and one of the first to say, hey, I need help with this. And he got together teams, which included people outside the field of medicine, like in the discipline of engineering, to come together and create things like the modern day ICU. He invented what we now call the bedside crash cart, computerized vital signs, recognize the significance of certain blood biomarkers for monitoring people who are severely ill and injured. So what we've done is sort of adopt his approach at Michigan, where we're bringing people outside the immediate field of medicine, many of the disciplines in engineering, data scientists, even entrepreneurs, to get new eyes on these problems and challenges so that when we come up with an aha moment, we can actually move this forward to get to industry partners, for example, to transition these things so that the idea just doesn't stay an idea, it becomes a common struggle with a team that can bring about solutions. We've actually developed one of the first ICUs in the country at Michigan Medicine that's actually housed in the Department of Emergency Medicine. So a lot of this is about providing the right care to the right patient at the right time.
We have like 30 seconds left, Doctor. Should we be optimistic about where the field of critical care medicine is headed?
I think we should. My hope is that the public and we don't forget what the attention that COVID has brought to the importance of the intensive care unit and critical care in general, because the patients who die of COVID have died for things that we struggled with for decades. Acute lung injury, we call it acute respiratory distress syndrome, and sepsis. So we hope under the Weil Institute is to really bring together these teams, get new eyes on problems, and work with their industry partners to, again, turn those aha moments into transformative technologies. So I'd encourage people to visit our website. We've got great examples of.
Give that website before we run out of time.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be, you'll have to Google Weil, W-E-I-L, at the University of Michigan.
Excellent. Dr. Kevin Ward, we're out of time. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, I'm Connie Holzer. We're always talking about cars and trucks, but we seldom appreciate the people behind the scenes, the hardworking people who make it all happen, from conception to completion, down to the smallest detail. These dedicated people make sure that you're driving the safest and the best-looking vehicles on the road. We want to acknowledge the remarkable people of Ford Motor Company. We at Tom Holzer Ford appreciate you. Thank you.
As an organ donor, your story doesn't have to end. The good in you can live on. In fact, you could save up to 8 lives with your gifts. Your heart could keep beating. Your kidneys could keep filtering. And your intestines could keep on digesting for others. And that's not all. You can improve the lives of 50 more people as an eye and tissue donor, restoring sight and health. And you're not just helping out the person receiving the transplant. You're touching whole families with your life-saving gift. Register in minutes. Just go to organdonor.gov. You'll be happy you did. And just maybe, someone else will be happy too. Sign up today. Go to organdonor.gov. It saves lives. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
Our lives are a collection of experiences, from fender benders and soggy basements to great joy and growing families. Sometimes life is unplanned. Knowing that your insurance provider is always close by offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
He may confirm his retirement at the White House. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, according to the AP, will meet with President Biden today.
Breyer is 83, the oldest justice who is frequently cited with the court's liberal wing. The Supreme Court term ends in the summer, but confirmation hearings for a successor could begin sooner. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki did not propose a possible timetable for a nomination, but reiterated President Biden's pledge to nominate the first black woman to the Supreme Court.
Fox's Jared Halpern. The Supreme Court shot down the president's vaccine mandate for workers at large companies, but the one it allowed for healthcare workers in facilities that get federal funding goes into effect today in the states that did not challenge that mandate. It'll hit those other states later. Russia is still reviewing the U.S. response to its demand amid fears it might invade Ukraine.
We're open to dialogue. We prefer diplomacy.
That's Secretary of State Antony Blinken, but a Kremlin spokesman just said there is little ground for optimism. One of the accused Capitol rioters is going to remain jailed awaiting trial. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has an update live.
Dave, a federal judge in Texas has rejected bail for Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the Oath Keepers militia, who is accused of seditious conspiracy along with 10 other members of his group. The judge called Rhodes a flight risk, partly because of elaborate escape tunnels he had installed in his backyard and unregistered cars he has stashed in the woods near his home. Prosecutors say Rhodes' plot to stop the transfer of presidential power started just days after the 2020 election. Dave.
Tony, 2 St. Louis police officers shot in Ferguson are in a hospital this morning. One's in critical condition. The gunman was also shot and killed. 2 other suspects in custody. An arrest in the killing of a deputy constable shot at a traffic stop Sunday in Houston, Texas.
A suspect in a capital murder case, Oscar Rosales, was arrested in Ciudad Acuña, Mexico,
by Mexican authorities. Valverde County Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather first.
This report is sponsored by Macy's. It's Macy's Big Home Sale. Stock up on fresh sheets and bedding from Charter Club, Damask Designs, or shop specials like air fryers from Bella, Crux, and more. And the spacious 4-piece Radley sectional. Plus, Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees.
Traffic First also sponsored by New Image Building Services. 65% of American workers fear returning to in-person operations could pose a risk to their personal health and safety. New Image Building Services specializes in cleaning and disinfection plans. Call New Image Building Services today at 586-465-4420. Just one problem out there in Monroe, 75 northbound after La Pleasant. Wreck blocks your right 2 lanes. A 23-minute delay from Otter Creek. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Liberty Title, protecting property since 1974. For over 45 years, Michigan-based Liberty Title has been helping buyers and sellers keep their real estate transactions safe and secure. You get to choose your title company. Don't fall for a split closing that adds to your closing costs. You have a choice. Choose libertytitle.com. Breezy and cold once again today. Cloudy, a few flurries or snow showers possible, a high of 27. Cloudy skies tonight, flurries or snow showers overnight, your low 10. Even colder on Friday. Some clouds, some sun mixed. More clouds in the afternoon, a high of 18 degrees. Currently 7 degrees with a wind chill. It feels like -8. I'm Dana Clark, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
That dinner was delicious. What's next?
I'm thinking just the check.
Do you frequently have gas, bloating, diarrhea, stomach pain, or loose oily stools after eating? One or more of these symptoms could be a sign of exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, and it may be time to talk to your doctor.
If you have EPI, Creon may be right for you. Creon, pancrelipase, is an oral prescription medication that treats EPI. Creon replaces enzymes you may be missing to help you break down food properly.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Do not chew capsules or contents as this may cause mouth irritation. Tell your doctor if you have unusual or severe stomach pain, bloating, trouble passing stool, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, worsening of painful swollen joints, or allergic reactions. Other side effects may include changes in blood sugars, gas, dizziness, or sore throat and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Talk to your doctor about Creon, the #1 prescribed EPI treatment, and visit gocreon.com. That's GOCREON.com. Or call 1-800-633-9110.
Everyone's talking about labor shortages and all the related price increases.
If you're a homeowner or a contractor, we know the struggles you both have trying to find trustworthy people that can help. The Inside Outside guys want to help homeowners and contractors alike with our over 80 years of combined housing experience.
Go where thousands of Michigan homeowners go every month for help with their homes, theinsideoutsideguys.com.
For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
The Inside Outside Guys are brought to you in part by Clarkston Window and Door.
Hi, I'm Jeff Weaver of Clarkston Window and Door. For over 33 years, we've been providing hundreds of thousands of windows and doors to Michigan homes. Our windows are made to order, so you control the design process from color, style, grids, and hardware. Our sales team and installers are experts and have decades of experience. All that and a lifetime warranty and an affordable price. Check out our reviews online and come see us at our design showroom. Great financing options are available. Visit clarkstonwindow.com for more info or call 248-338-6781.
Welcome to this Paul W. Smith special edition on 760 WJR, the Michigan 2022 State of the State Address. This special live coverage is sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Here's Paul.
A very good Thursday morning to you, the 27th of January. Of course, the 27th day of 2022. There are 338 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And we've got the team together, and right alongside with Sean Belegian and Ann Thomas on this very special day, this post-State of the State show. And in fact, the governor will be with us at about 7:19 this morning, just a few minutes from right now, and we're looking forward to that conversation. And I hope you watched it. I thought she did a very nice job presenting. If you liked her, you liked it. If you don't like her, you didn't like it. That's the way it always goes. And I remind everybody, this is a State of the State address. If the governor came up and was all gloom and doom or whatever, then that would be kind of dumb and we'd all feel bad. So she did what I believe a State of the State address should do. She talked about her accomplishments, talked about what she wants to continue to accomplish and do, hence put her in office for another term. And that's that. And she did it with a smile on her face. And I thought it was a great presentation. And that Detroit Diesel, a company that Roger Penske saved, in fact, one of the many great things Roger Penske has done, they're doing very well now, too, in this whole new world of EV and all of that. I will bring up to the governor, kind of a heads up here, how she feels about the fact that came out that for the first time ever, we've had more deaths than birth in Michigan. You guys see that?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, Paul.
That's troubling. Not that she can do anything about it, but it's something that she has to deal with as governor, and governors in the future will have to deal with. You know, I without taking a political stand, because it's a Supreme Court justice, and I know he's liberal and blah, blah, blah. But if I'm at a job 28 years, and I've been at WJR over 30 years, like 35, but if I'm ever going to retire, I want to be able to tell people I'm retiring. I don't want to just see it in the news that I'm retiring. And it seems unfortunate, 28 years on the Supreme Court bench, I think he deserved to make his own announcement. Don't you guys? Or do you feel differently?
So explain, Paul, how did that happen? What exactly went down there? Do we know?
Rumors started coming out of the White House, and I think it's because the kids, and that's how I refer to them, because they are so inexperienced, and that's what worries me with 8,500 American soldiers going, you know, my feelings on all that, because of the way they screwed up Afghanistan and with simple things. All of us knew how to get out of Afghanistan better than they seem to. We all would have known you don't take the military out first and leave the Americans behind to fend for themselves. But without going backwards, it appears that they're so excited about the president being able to pick a liberal justice that they couldn't help themselves. As soon as they got word of it, because he did go to the White House, apparently, and told the president that they all got excited, and the word was out, which is really unfortunate. And as much as we may need a black woman on the bench, because there hasn't been one, and I know he did say this as part of his campaign and would get cheers wherever he would go. I think it's demeaning to the person he chooses, presuming it is a black woman. Whatever woman he chooses, obviously is going to be very talented and deserve the choice, but this takes it away. This saying, oh, yeah, that's the black woman because he said he was going to have a black woman. Do either of you understand what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah, I do, Paul. I think, number one, you're limiting yourself. I've always felt if the best person presents themselves, then you select that person. That's the best person. But I think when you pigeonhole yourself into, well, it has to be this, I don't agree with that thinking. I just don't.
Well, I think it demeans the choice eventually. This person should be able to get this job regardless of the color of their skin or their gender.
100%.
I mean, and I don't know. I don't know why that doesn't seem obvious to people who use this all the time in their decision making. I go back to when I was at University of Michigan. It was very unfair for black kids coming in because people would automatically think, oh, they've got a certain, they have to get a certain number of blacks in, so they just let those people in. That's terrible. That was a terrible way to look at those hardworking students.
On the flip side, I do think it would be great for the Supreme Court to be a diverse court, to represent the country. So I think that is the thinking behind this. And, the court should represent all different parts of the country. So that's something to think about, too.
Well, I don't doubt that, but it's kind of something that you should just naturally do rather than ballyhooing it long before he even had knowledge that he was going to be replacing anybody on the Supreme Court.
Yeah. And Paul, these appointments, as you well know, and we've talked about a million times, they become so political. It's so fast, and they shouldn't be.
No.
They should be appointments of highly qualified people, and they all are, frankly. But I do think diverse representation in 2022 is something to think about.
I'm not questioning that at all. I think that's absolutely right. I just think there's a better way to frame it than announcing months before you even meet anybody and saying, I'm picking this or that. I need a tall, redheaded Irishman to be a Supreme Court justice, and I'm going to do that.
I think you're right. I think that adds to the politics. That's for sure.
Yeah, I wish the next justice well. The president could pick somebody. I see one of the women he's looking at is very young, and she could be there for 40 years, a Supreme Court justice. So these are big decisions that will have a very long ongoing impact on these United States of America. So I'm sure that his team, the people propping him up currently, will do the best they can in picking a very liberal black woman. I mean, they've said it themselves. So it rubs me the wrong way. We've got our WJR Business Beat. We've got Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of Startup Nation, spotlighting the entrepreneurial tech and startup community right here on WJR. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Paul. The Great Resignation, as it's known, that is the exodus of employees from their current employment, has been a dynamic change in both American business and American lifestyle, all driven by the pandemic, of course. So today in the Business Beat, for all those companies seeking new employees and for those employees maybe looking for a fresh start, a little inspiration for you today. We're featuring the rankings of the 100 best places to work in America. That ranking's by Glassdoor. Now, Glassdoor bases these rankings on feedback from current and former employees to questions like the following. How satisfying do you find your current job? How do you feel about the company leadership? And how about your overall compensation and benefits? So what big companies made the list? Well, Rivian, Helpdesk, and software developer ServiceNow all made the list, as did well-known names such as Apple, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Zoom. So who's number one? It's NVIDIA, the tech company that designs graphics processing units for the gaming industry. NVIDIA takes that spot from Bain & Company, which held it last year. They're now at number 3. HubSpot's at number 2. Glassdoor's list of the best small companies to work for? Companies like Sprout Social coming in at 44, Grammarly at number 14. And number 1 on the list, that belongs to Client Boost, a digital marketing consultancy. You can access the full list at startupnation.com. So look, for those companies seeking employees, use these rankings as a benchmarking opportunity to make sure you're a great place to work for against the standard. And if you're an employee seeking employment, if you're going to work, you might as well work for a great company to work for, right? There you have it. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, and that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
The Rocket Mortgage Super Bowl Square Sweepstakes is back. Every score change will draw one winner from the square to win $50,000. Plus, 2 grand prize winners will win $500,000 they could use toward their dream home. Get in the game for free at RocketMortgageSquares.com. Rocket Mortgage, official mortgage sponsor of Super Bowl 56.
No purchase necessary. Legal residence of the 50 U.S. and D.C. of age. Majority ends 11/11/22. Equal housing lender. Licensed all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. The NFL entities have not offered to sponsor this promotion in any way.
Hey gang, this is Jim Harper. Are you trying to buy or lease a vehicle right now? Then you know the story. There's no inventory. And some dealerships are actually charging more for what they have. Some won't even accept your employee pricing plan. Gordon Chevrolet thinks that is wrong. And that's why you need the Gordon Chevrolet way. I've been telling you about Gordon for over 20 years, and I'm telling you, they figured out a way to get you the vehicle you want at a reasonable time period and get you the lowest price possible. And you don't have to worry about your current lease. Boy, they have this figured out. They are experts in early lease turn-ins. They can help you avoid penalties. They can even match the delivery date of your new vehicle. Gordon Chevrolet voted best of the best by the Detroit Free Press, and right now the Chevy product lineup is red hot. So join the crowd. Shop the Gordon Chevrolet way at Gordon Chevrolet on the money-saving end of Ford Road, just west of Merriman and Garden City. It's worth the drive. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads.
Change is big. I think we know that. The change in the Supreme Court will be really big. But other change is big, too, like Consumers Energy ending the use of coal to generate electricity. Change can also be small, like when you replace old furnace filters for new ones. When we work together for our planet's health, the changes we make today will create a brighter future, a future powered by community solar gardens instead of coal plants, and cars fueled by clean electricity. Being rewarded for smart energy choices is as easy as making small adjustments to save energy at your home or at your business, or simply letting your smart thermostat handle the work for you. Together, we can become a force for change. Join him today at consumersenergy.com/change. That's consumersenergy.com/change. It's 7:18 at 760 WJR, the governor of the great state of Michigan, up next.
When you order your Walgreens prescriptions with same-day delivery, it's possible you'll experience some side effects. Side effects may include joy that you won't run out of your pills and disbelief at just how crazy fast the delivery came right to your door. Get your same-day prescription refill today on the Walgreens app.
To use same-day Rx delivery or 1 to 2 business day delivery, you must be opted into prescription status alerts. It will appear as an option of 4 hours before that store's cutoff time for the day. Certain health plans do not cover or participate in same-day Rx delivery. Check with your health plan for further details. Excludes California.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. And now, during our January sale, save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed, plus special financing, only for a limited time. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Heart attack and stroke can be devastating and even deadly. The good news is they're 100% preventable. Listen to Dr. Brian Collender, MD, live tonight at 7:05 p.m. to discuss this and more. Don't forget, that's tonight at 7:05 p.m. on News Talk 760 WJR.
WJR Traffic and Weather first.
This report is sponsored by Macy's. It's Macy's Big Home Sale. Stock up on fresh sheets and bedding from Charter Club, Damask Designs, or shop specials, like air fryers from Bella, Crux, and more, and the spacious 4-piece Radley sectional. Plus, Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees.
Still just dealing with that one problem. Well, now it is clear in Monroe along 75 northbound at La Pleasant. Accident is out of your way, about a 10-minute delay now from Otter Creek. Now, WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. New year, new floors. Refresh your space at Reamer Floors. During the Karastan patterned carpet sale, save on stylish Karastan carpets to brighten any space. Visit ReamerFloors.com to schedule your shop at home or in-store appointment.
Not as cold for us today as we were yesterday, although temperatures still below average. We're in and out of the clouds today. A few flurries, even a snow shower or two possible. Afternoon highs, middle to upper 20s. Mostly cloudy tonight with a few flurries or a couple of light snow showers possible, low near 7. Mix of clouds and sun, 18 tomorrow. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ken Boone on News Talk 760 WJR.
Now back to live coverage of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's virtual State of the State address for 2022. Sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
And once again, the governor of the great state of Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Governor, excellent job from my point of view on your 4th State of the State address. Nice to have you back with us this morning. Good morning.
Thanks, Paul. That'd be good to be with you. And it was really neat to be at Detroit Diesel last night. It was just a phenomenal facility that represents, where we are headed as a state. And so it was great. I look forward to, working on this agenda with the legislature, and I'm very optimistic, especially after that huge GM announcement earlier this week that we all worked so hard on together.
Yeah, how did you work that timing? That couldn't have been that couldn't have been any better. I mean, the day before you have to do your state of the state to get a $7 billion plus present like that from Mary Barra and the hardworking men and women of General Motors. Did that just happen, or had you guys been working together?
We've been working for a long time on this. And Paul W., you and I chatted back during the pancake breakfast for the Detroit Parade Company.
Oh, yeah.
I told you then, there's a narrative out there that we're not working together, we're not getting things done in economic development. I said, it's just not true. We've been at it with our utility partners, the business community, Republicans and Democrats, the legislature, my office, MEDC, and you see the fruits of that in this incredible investment, and we're just so thrilled about it because it's really important for GM. It's really important for the state of Michigan.
Well, as you pointed out, Governor, it does send the message to the rest of the country. I mean, let's face it, after we kind of all got slapped into reality when Ford Motor Company said, oh, by the way, we're taking our $11 billion project outside of Michigan because Michigan wasn't ready for it or didn't have what we were looking for or whatever their reason was. That kind of slapped us all in the face and got us moving on this. And now this proves that we are ready and that we can, even if we weren't then, we are now to be able to do a deal like this with General Motors. Do you agree?
Absolutely. We're going to win. We are in competition with the whole world. We want to make sure that especially our incumbent businesses look to invest, they think Michigan first, but also, we're going to show the world. And I think the narrative has been turned on its head. They used to think, no, we didn't have the tools other states had. We moved too slow. Everything's dysfunctional. And we turned that on its head in the last couple of months. And we're going to continue to put our foot on the accelerator.
I've asked every governor this, so I'm asking you this, Governor Whitmer, and that is, I know you work very hard on this. I know you go over it time and time again. But is there anything that as you stepped off the stage or on the drive home or even waking up this morning that you wish that you would have said or that you wish you wouldn't have said?
The nature of a State of the State address is you only have so much time and you put big ideas out there. And having been a member of the legislature, they always want more details and they're going to, pick apart things. But it's really about setting an agenda that unites us, where we can find common ground. It feels like everything in this moment is so polarizing and political, and yet we've got important issues we got to tackle. So I laid some of that out. We'll continue this work in the budget that I'll be introducing in 2 weeks. So I think you'll see even more heft behind the priorities that unite us and are going to prepare our kids and create real opportunity and relief for a lot of people in Michigan who are struggling with the high cost of inflation right now. We can do a lot of good because we've got resources that we haven't had in a long time.
We do have those resources, and I spoke with Sandy Baruja earlier about this from the Greater Detroit Regional Chamber. How do you, as the head of our state, how do you keep yourself from getting a little drunk with all this money that isn't going to be here forever? Hasn't been here before, will maybe never be here again. There's a lot of money that we're flush with that I don't think we should get used to it and start programs that we may not be able to fund in the years ahead. What are your thoughts about this? How are you tempering all this?
Well, we have to be strategic, right? Some of these resources are one time, and so it would be foolish to build out things we can't sustain. That's just not a great strategy, and that's why I worked with the business community to make sure that we've got the Michigan New Economy Plan is really focused on setting the table for prosperity and long-term growth. It's using one-time dollars and ways that will, in one-time investments, that'll make a big difference putting us on that path. On the other side of the ledger, we've got some ongoing additional resources. We've had good management through this pandemic. We even got credit rating upgrade in the middle of all the chaos we've been navigating. And so we can make longer term investments on that side of the equation. So it's complicated, but we haven't had a problem of trying to figure out how to make investments in decades. And so this is a good problem to have, but we got to be strategic, as you said. And that's why I think the my new economy plan is really a way to set the table for creating long-term opportunity in Michigan.
And speaking of table, boy, you've given me two lead-ins right away as we're talking. I appreciate that. We're taking this act down the road. You said table, and what you talked about last night were kitchen table issues. Can't go wrong with that, Governor.
Well, that's, Michiganders we're hardworking people. We expect government to work as hard as we do and to solve problems. And whether it's on infrastructure or it's giving tax relief to our seniors or it's historic investments in our education system so our kids can be in class and have the wraparound supports they need to get on track after this incredible global disruption. These are the kitchen table issues. This is what I've always been centered on. And, I know some are going to look to figure out where we can divide. I'm going to look to see where we can unite. And I think it's around these issues because that's what Michigan families and Michigan businesses need us to focus on.
Do you feel that you're getting that point across and that you have some unity in that? I don't want to put words in Senator Mike Shirkey's mouth, but at least before the speech, it sounded like he was all in on some of the things you've been talking about.
You know what? I believe we have an opportunity, and I know we have a duty to do everything we can to realize that opportunity for the people we serve. We showed we're capable of it with this historic General Motors announcement. We have made, I gave you a litany of places where we worked in a bipartisan manner to get things done that really helps people in the state. We can't let, our political differences or the climate dictate how we act. I'm going to stay focused on finding that common ground, and I'm going to create a seat at the table for everyone who can make that same commitment.
I hate to bring it up. You kind of referenced it a little last night, but the headlines in the paper this week: bid to dismiss Whitmer kidnap plot case denied. That's been the most bizarre ongoing story that we've ever seen. I know you'd like to have it behind you, and your family would like to have it behind you as well.
But it's, I do get asked that all the time, with all the stuff we've had to navigate. Why do I still feel so optimistic and want to continue to forge ahead? And, I'm not going to get distracted by all that. I'm going to stay focused. I'm encouraged. I love the state. I want my kids and I want your kids and all Michigan kids to feel that same way, that pride, and to make their lives here. And that's what centers my work. All that other stuff that's going on, I don't pay a lot of attention to or put any energy into because I know wise people put their energy into things they can get done. That's where I'm going to continue to focus.
Any last thoughts, Governor, before we let you go?
Just stay healthy, Paul W., and thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat with you this morning.
By the way, how is your husband, the good doctor? We're going to run out of time here, but is he all healed from COVID?
Oh, yeah, he's great. And being boosted meant it just felt like a bad cold for a couple of days. So
okay,
encourage people to go out and get boosted if they haven't yet, or get vaccinated if they haven't.
Thank you, Governor. Great job last night on State of the State. We'll wait for all the facts and details and budget talks, everything else to come our way. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You do the same as we continue on WJR.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. As expected, the Biden administration rejects a Russian demand that Ukraine never be allowed to join the NATO alliance.
Russia says its main demands have not been taken into account by the United States. The Kremlin is reacting after the US delivered a written response to a set of Russian proposals. But President Putin's spokesperson says there is room to continue dialogue.
Fox's Simon Owen. The man accused of selling a gun used to hold hostages at a Texas synagogue faces federal charges.
Henry Michael Williams is now charged with being a felon in possession of a gun. U.S. Attorney Chad Meacham said in a statement whether or not Williams knew what Malik Akram was going to do, Williams, as a convicted felon, should not have had the weapon in the first place. Akram was shot and killed after a lengthy standoff with federal agents. None of the 4 hostages were hurt.
Fox's Goodall Scott. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather first from the WinBet Traffic and Weather Center. Download the WinBet app today on the Apple Store or Google Play. Win with WinBet.
This report is sponsored by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
New accident reported in Detroit. It's along 75 northbound after Holbrook. That wreck blocking your right two lanes. Now WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com provides high-quality storage products for a variety of industries, from unirack, pallet racking, and pushback high-density racking, and distribution centers to its selection of Metromax polymer shelving, ideal for food service and healthcare. That's Shelving.com. We rack your world. Breezy and cold once again today. Could see a few flurries or snow showers. Clouds all day, a high of 27. Tonight, cloudy. Overnight low 10. Currently 7 degrees with the wind chill, feels like -8. I'm Dana Clark, WJR Traffic and Weather first.
Hi friends, Bill Golling here from Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, telling you about some of the great January lease values we have going on all month long during our Start Something New sales event. For example, qualified Chrysler employees can lease a 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad 4x4 for just $308 a month. Leases for 39 months, 10,000 miles a year with $2,000 down. We have a pretty good selection to choose from, so come see us. You'll be glad you did. That's Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at Golling.com.
You might be wondering, what's Enbridge doing to keep up with the energy demands of tomorrow? As a bridge to the energy future, we're helping drive the change toward lower carbon and renewable energy sources. That's why we're modernizing our infrastructure to be more efficient and reliable, and why we're investing in energy sources like wind and solar. We are Enbridge, a leading North American energy infrastructure company, and we believe when our energy meets yours, the future is full of promise. Enbridge, life takes energy.
7:34 at 760 WJR. You already know that Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan has the largest network of top doctors and hospitals in all of Michigan. But what you may not know is Blue Cross is making it easier than ever for you to see these top doctors, however, whenever, and wherever you need to see them. And that means you can get the care you need on your terms through office visits, telehealth, a 24-hour nurse line, mental health support, urgent care, and more, giving you the confidence in knowing that you and your family are covered no matter what. No wonder Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan is the name more people across the state have trusted for the past 82 years to help them live healthier lives. So whether it's a cough, a fever, a broken arm, or a broken spirit, Blue Cross is here for you anytime, anywhere, with access to support for both your physical and mental health, even from the privacy of your own home. Blue Cross is here for it all and always will be. Learn more at hereforitall.com. That's hereforitall.com. 7:35 at 760 WJR.
Listen up, loyal WJR listeners. Estate Planning Legal Services is pleased to offer a free complimentary estate planning kit. Let's be honest, we never truly know what tomorrow will bring. So estate planning is the simplest way to guarantee your assets and property will be distributed according to your wishes. An accident, a serious medical issue, or an emergency can occur, unfortunately, at any time. So that's why all WJR listeners need to talk to Estate Planning Legal Services. When the unexpected happens, your heirs will receive your assets on the terms and conditions you want and remove any uncertainty that could cost time, privacy, control, and money. EPLS prepares comprehensive planning packages to manage and protect your family. Receive your free complimentary estate planning kit and set your appointment now with locally based estate planning legal services. Call 248-435-0400 or visit EPLSPC.com. That's 248-435-0400 or visit EPLSPC.com. Plan for tomorrow today. Estate Planning Legal Services.
Now back to live coverage of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's virtual State of the State address for 2022, sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
And we're happy to welcome in another view of the governor's speech last night, State of the State. David Martin, a Republican member of the Michigan House of Representatives and chairperson of the Community and Economic Development Committee, is here with what we'll call, I think we'll call, the official Republican reaction to the governor's State of the State address. David Martin, if you're there, welcome.
And you know what, Paul?
He's not there.
David Martin is having a technical troubles getting into our video stream. So our wonderful digital department is working on that right now. So hopefully he will be popping in just a few minutes.
You know, I always ask the governors over the years, is there anything you left out or wanted? Of course, every time I talk to them, there's all kinds of things I left out and wanted. And we ran into a time issue. I took it 2 minutes longer than I was supposed to, but we got it like 2 minutes later than we thought we would. But I never got to that story that you and I talked about, and Sean earlier, that Michigan residents are dying faster than they're born. For the first time ever, annual deaths in Michigan have outpaced births. In 2020, 104,149 babies were born in the state, while 117,087 residents died. Now, obviously, COVID has a lot to do with this, but I don't know. I haven't heard these statistics for any other state. Maybe they're similar, but have you guys?
I don't know. I have not seen other statistics. I'm just trying to think about what it would be. Is it that our children don't want to have as many children, or are they worried about the future? Like, what's going on?
That's a good point.
Paul, you know what's interesting? My son, of course, just graduated from college, so I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of his friends that, same graduating class at Northville High School. They've all graduated college at about the same time. It is amazing how many of them want to leave Michigan, and that's depressing to me. I mean, obviously, we're biased. We love the state. We're here, but it's amazing to me in talking to so many of his friends. Well, I want to go to this state. There's a job in this state, or I want to go to that state. And I've asked so many of them, are those opportunities here in Michigan? And so many of them feel like the opportunities they're looking for are elsewhere. And that's depressing to me.
I think there's always been, and I don't know what role this plays, but there's always been, everywhere you go, the young kids who grow up in a place have a tendency to want to go somewhere else. Now, here in Michigan, we sent a lot of our best to Chicago because it was close by, and they had more jobs available than we did. Let's not forget, there was a period of time when kids couldn't get jobs here. As much as we wanted and tried to help them, they had to go somewhere else, and Chicago was a beneficiary of that. But, when someone in Michigan says, I really would like to go and work in California, it's that kind of natural tendency to want to get out, spread your wings, and do something in another area. And so I contend that there are kids that are graduating and have lived in California all their lives, which some people think is a mecca, not me, but and they say, I need to go somewhere. I'm going to New York. I mean, I think it's a natural tendency. That's a part of it. I don't know what the rest of it is. I hope it's not something worse than that, Sean. And I hadn't noticed that kids are all saying, I got to get out of Michigan. I hadn't heard that in a long time.
And Paul, Representative Martin is on the phone, and he is ready to go.
All right. That's good to know. And maybe we can take him a little longer than what we had scheduled. I'll let you and Brian work that clock out, so that'll happen. Representative David Martin, you are speaking. I don't know if you could hear me earlier, but you're speaking, and this is a big job for you. You're speaking on behalf of all the Republicans in a reaction to Governor Whitmer's State of the State address last night. Good morning.
Well, I'm honored. I'm not honored to speak for the Republican response to the people of Michigan, but also to be with Paul W. Smith. It's quite an honor.
Well, aren't you nice? Thank you for that. And I'm all ears. I can't help but realize your job is to kind of basically tell us all the things that were wrong or the things that need to be fixed that weren't discussed and all of that. So I'm ready. I'm going to take notes.
And that's great. I mean, obviously, the demonstrated last night, the governor does have the bully pulpit. So a lot of the hard work the legislature does gets, into the news because of the announcements the governor's office makes. All this work, the strategic opportunities that brought the battery plants and so forth to Michigan, that hard work we really put in place to make sure that the legislature can do these economic projects properly. Before there's a lot of waste, not a lot of promises were answered. Now we have some oversight in place and can do these things. But there's a lot of opportunities that we can still work on. The governor talked about the pension tax. Of course, I'm going to be upfront. I am blessed that my military retirement exempt from that. But I understand that a lot of the people that are on pensions that had to find benefit plans were the teachers and the corrections officers that she mentioned. So there's a lot of government officials that are still on pensions, and they need that relief. But there's other Michigan retirees that also need that relief. So that needs to have a platform, kind of a floor set for who doesn't pay taxes until they exceed a certain amount. That way, all retirees can benefit.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I'm glad you brought that up, David. Because if I can call you David, you call me Paul. I didn't, from what I heard her say, I didn't realize that she was talking about a somewhat narrow focus of people no longer having their retirement benefits taxed. I didn't realize it was very, very narrow, and it was state employees and, as you mentioned, teachers and others. I thought it was all of us.
Well, not all of us have a pension. Most of us have.
Most of us don't have a pension, but I look at a 401k or any of the other things that we've been forced to put ourselves into once companies stop doing pensions. I thought she meant all of that, but she's only talking about actual pensions. I didn't read it that way. I'm glad you're telling us, because that's important to know.
And those are things we talk about. The Senate has a plan to reduce income tax overall for everybody, and we should have already gotten rid of that 0.25% that was temporary. So we can make things for two things. You were talking about the outflow of students leaving Michigan. Well, we want to keep them here. We want to make sure they know what the opportunities are here. But we also want to make sure that employers that come here know that the workers will want to come here because we have a low tax system for them, for the business, and for their workers. So we need to make it attractive for everybody to be here in Michigan, not just some targeted issues.
The governor seemingly went out of her way to say that she's very anxious to reach across the aisle, and that there are a lot of things that we can do in a bipartisan way and work together. That's what she said in the State of the State address. That's what she just said to me this morning on my show. I know actions speak louder than words. Are her actions the same as those words of her wanting to work with the Republicans?
And in my whole 1 year in the legislature, I hesitate to say that was absolutely genuine. I hope so. We cannot get any legislature done without her signature. We had the fewest bills ever signed into law since the Constitution of 1963 was enacted. So does that mean we're working together? The last budget cycle, many days went by without hearing from the management team. So I'm hopeful that an election year, that we need to get at least news articles out. So we need to make progress so we can show we're doing something. And I hope that makes it different this year.
Well, we hope so too. Let's, Brian, let's listen to Cut 18. What I have here from Danielle putting this list together for us. We appreciate that, Danielle. It says Michigan new economy. Can I hear that?
I'll also work to invest the federal resources we have received with plans I released last year, like the Michigan New Economy, which would grow our middle class, support small businesses, and invest in our communities.
Are you on board with that? Do you understand even what that means?
A little bit. A couple of my committees hear some of these issues. Every time I hear the word invest and the word federal government in the same sentence, I hear tax. I don't see the relief there. And creating programs that are going to last forever, and where's that funding going to come from? Our goal is to do single item issues that won't have a bureaucracy tied to it. So we're going to attack these issues, get them off the table because we spend one-time monies on them, and then move on to other projects.
Representative Martin, you wear your 1 year experience well. Thanks for being with us. I hope we'll talk often.
it was a great pleasure for me. Thank you.
A Republican member of the Michigan House of Representatives and chairperson of the Community and Economic Development Committee, Representative David Martin, and another view of the governor's State of the State address last night. We're heading towards 747 on WJR. Don Simon coming up from Farm Bureau Insurance, the CEO. Stay with us.
Are you ready to buy a new house? Maybe a new car? Then you might need a loan, so you better make sure your credit is in good shape. If it isn't, don't panic. Credit Repair Gal is here to help. A good credit score can be the difference between paying a ton of extra money in interest or even getting approved for a loan at all. We help improve your scores, giving you much more control over your financial future. Don't wait any longer. Call 1-800-805-6919 or visit creditrepairgal.com today.
747 at 760 WJR. Michigan is a beautiful part of the country. We're so happy to live here and to be able to be here. It's nice to get away from time to time from the winter weather. You know, one thing can't get away from the winter weather. It's our roof. And as beautiful as all of this is, sometimes the winter is very tough on our roof. And Victor's Roofing wants you to know that with everything the winter throws at your roof, the ice, the snow, the freezing and thawing, freezing and thawing, freezing and thawing, if there are any weaknesses, you better look out. Small problems become big ones. Big problems can be disasters. So if you have any doubts about your roof, you should get it looked at by a licensed roofing contractor. Now, if you look around, you're going to find that many roofers kind of shut down when the weather gets like it is right now. Not Victor's Roofing. They're open and doing business 12 months a year because they know roofing problems can occur 12 months a year. And boy, when it happens in the winter, you want to get that fixed. Their expert roof technicians will carefully examine your roof to make sure it's safe and sound for the winter. If there are any areas of concern, Victor's will give you a customized plan to address them. So don't wait. Schedule your free, no obligation 21-point video inspection and estimate today. Call Victor's today, 734-6660-6914. That's 734-6660-6914. Or book an appointment online at victorsroofing.com. 749 at 760 WJR.
Hey, folks, four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty. And what do I always say? Well, I say a lot of things, but works.
Hi, Dan.
Good morning.
I just need to do a mic check and see if Paul can hear you.
Okay. I'll talk and say hello and good morning.
I can hear Mr. Simon well.
Good. You're clear as a bell here, too.
Good to see you, Don.
Good to see you. I can kind of see you, but...
Can you see me? I don't even. I don't
see here. I got. Oh, there you are. Yep, I got you covered here with a piece of paper. Didn't realize.
It's easy. I've been covered up by pieces of paper all my life.
Not a problem. As long as we can hear each other.
Yeah.
Okay. And we are good. Coming back in a little bit. I'll stick you backstage, and Paul will announce you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Connie Holzer, and I'm so proud to be a part of Ford Motor Company. Ford continues to improve itself by building better, safer, and more fuel-efficient cars and trucks every year. Stop by and see us at 10 Mile and Haggerty in Farmington Hills. Give us a chance to earn your business and your trust. Everyone here thanks you for continuing to support our Michigan economy by buying American, buying Ford, and buying from Tom Holzer Ford. Thank you.
There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. Join Paul W. Smith every Thursday morning as he speaks with experts from Michigan medicine who are making small steps and giant leaps to advance healthcare each and every day.
WJR Traffic and Weather first.
This report is sponsored by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
Accident along 75 northbound after Holbrook. That collision is clear. New crash northbound 75 at Clark Street. Wreck blocks the right shoulder. Seeing a delay from Dearborn Street. Also an accident reported along M14 westbound after Gottfredson. And in Fraser, Groesbeck Highway at Utica Road, accident just reported as well. 696 westbound slow between Mound and 75. Also tapping the brakes in St. Clair Shores along 94 westbound between 10 and 9 Mile. Now, WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Barrier Free Plus. Barrier Free Plus is Michigan's best full-service home modification specialist, designing and installing ramps, full bathrooms, and roll-in showers and grab bars, kitchens, stair lifts, and more. During these cold months, don't feel trapped in your home. Visit barrierfreeplusinc.com. That's barrierfreeplusinc.com.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies for us here today. Not quite as cold as we were yesterday. Southwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. There is a chance for a few flurries or a couple of snow showers later today, 27. A couple of snow showers tonight. Otherwise, cloudy skies, low near 7. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ken Boone on News Talk 760 WJR.
Now back to live coverage of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's virtual State of the State address for 2022, sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
Speaking of Farm Bureau Insurance, what a great job they do day in and day out. In fact, the agencies that evaluate the industry consistently rate Farm Bureau Insurance among the top insurance companies in the nation for financial stability and customer service. And no one happier about that than Don Simon, the CEO of Farm Bureau Insurance, and all of the people that you represent, Don. Job well done. Nice to see you this morning.
Oh, nice to see you too, and good morning. It's been a long time, Paul, maybe 2 years since we've seen each other, and this doesn't count. Virtually,
we ought to have a name for that, the COVID connection.
Got it.
Or the COVID disconnection. I'm not sure, but there ought to be a name for it because it's happened across the board. You guys have always focused, and I've known Farm Bureau Insurance a very long time. I grew up in the insurance business in Monroe. Your focus is on providing extraordinary service at every step of the process. In fact, you say, and it's true, the experience matters.
We do. We've got 83 counties in this state. We've got agents all over the state. Our employees are local. We pay taxes locally. Our kids go to school in all the school districts. So we understand it. We get it. This is something we take pride in. We're formed by farmers over 102 years ago. And as you know, they're not picking up their land and going to another state. So we're in it for the long haul. And we're very proud of the state, just like everybody is talking about this morning on your show.
You have, there's great affinity for and love of farmers. That's how you began. That's why the name, Farm Bureau Insurance. But I take every opportunity I can, and why not right now with you, Don Simon, as the CEO of Farm Bureau Insurance, to remind people that you insure everybody. You are there for everyone here in the great state of Michigan, and you insure nearly everything, not just farm implements, but auto, home, obviously farms. But, you know, one area that's been overlooked, and frankly, I haven't talked with you about it very much either, and it's very important, and that is your life insurance department.
Yeah, this time of year, certainly we talk about frozen pipes, frozen water mains. Everyone's driving on ice and snow. But I tell you, the last 2 years, we've slowly built this life insurance company here. And I tell you what, we've seen tragedy the last couple of years. We've seen a lot of proceeds paid out to families who, unfortunately, premature have seen loved ones go. So we've had folks come to our agents more so than ever asking about life insurance. And certainly it's something that you don't think about all the time. You don't want to think about. You go back, you think about your own policy you bought. A lot of times, maybe it was starting a family that prompted you to take that responsibility. But more so than ever, folks are coming forward. And I hate to say that after it happens, the loss happens, you know, the two questions I get, I wish I would have had it, number one, or I wish I had more of it. So we're finding more and more, take care of yourselves, make sure you talk to an agent and get your plans in place.
Get it, and frankly, get it while you're young, and buy the longest term policy you can, because as you get older, it changes, and the insurance just naturally gets more expensive. So the more you can buy when you're young, and the longer out you can take that policy, the better off you're going to be. At least that's the way I look at it, Don.
Yeah, the peace of mind you get that I see from people who take care of themselves, whether it's getting a will, and these are things people are talking about today, getting a will, getting their life in order, because you just don't know what's going to happen. I think mortality is in front of us all right now, as hard as that is to talk about. I'll do it every chance I get to make sure once you get that done, there is a peace of mind that you probably haven't felt before.
I want to make sure that I mentioned all of the great things you do for Michigan families and Michigan communities, and all that your great agents do with the help of the company. You've got the Michigan High School Athletic Association Scholar Athlete Program. You've rewarded teachers with your partners at the Detroit Pistons, named as game changers or workers that in education. You've partnered and supported agents across the state doing great things to benefit their local communities. I've seen it myself with the work that you do and the generosity and philanthropy you give to the Paul W. Smith Golf Classic, which is coming up again in July, our 19th one. And you've always been there donating to help thousands and thousands of kids in these various children's charities. So I salute you, Don, for the great work you do as a great insurance company with all kinds of insurance, but what a great community member you are as well.
Yeah, we're going to partner with like-minded corporations, just like we do with WJR. Two things I'm proud of. Certainly, our agents form their own charitable fund. That's where they give money to food banks. They're in their local communities, as we mentioned. And just a year ago, we had to think about how do we get food to people. We realized restaurants were closed, and we did a $5 million member give back program that allowed people to go to their favorite restaurant, keep them in business, keep food going, get supply chains moving. So that was a great idea that came out of our agents to make sure we're always giving back, knowing they live in these local communities. So certainly we're civic minded, being in all 83 counties, and that'll continue. The Michigan High School Athletic Association, I think that's been a 40-year relationship, and almost $1 million gone to high school kids for scholar athletes.
Yeah, you guys have done some great things behind the scenes, and this is the time to bring it up and point it out. And I salute you and all of the Farm Bureau insurance agents around the state. You're really our hometown insurance company doing a great job. And to keep up the good work. Don't take it from me, take it from AM Best and others that judge you guys, that rate you guys, and Farm Bureau Insurance always comes out on top. Got to run, Don. Always nice to see you.
Have a good morning.
Don Simon, Farm Bureau Insurance CEO on WJR.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Near historic low rates may be a great reason to refinance, but when matched with an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot, you could be saving money and paying more towards the bottom line. Call a Loan Depot loan officer and ask about our 27-year Smart Term loan or our 10-year ARM loan. Get a great rate matched with a great loan by calling 866-888-LOAN or visit loandepot.com. At Loan Depot, home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
This is a crime alert from James Finch, former Assistant Director of the FBI's Cyber Crimes Division.
Your home's title is the only document that proves you own your home. And now, cyber criminals are able to forge our names off our home's title and claim they own it. It's a nightmare crime. Watch a video of a former cyber thief who now trains police, show how it's done, and how Home Title Lock could have stopped him. Visit HomeTitleLock.com/radio. HomeTitleLock.com/radio.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
The initial reviews aren't good. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The ball's in their court.
That was Secretary of State Antony Blinken after the U.S. sent the response that Russia demanded.
Whether they choose the path of diplomacy and dialogue, whether they decide to renew aggression against Ukraine, we're prepared either way.
Fox's Simon Owens, live in Kiev.
And Dave, Russia says it sees little reason to be optimistic after reading the U.S. response to its security demands. The Biden administration rejected Russia's central request for a guarantee Ukraine will never join NATO. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said the document contains no positive response on the main issue, but he also held the door open for further talks. He said President Putin will decide Russia's next steps. Dave?
Simon, North Korea launched 2 more missiles into the sea, test number 6 this month alone. The U.S. responded earlier in January with new sanctions, leading North Korea to seemingly warn it could resume nuclear tests. At the White House today, Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer is expected to confirm his retirement as President Biden considers who should replace him.
The White House confirms that the president will follow through in his campaign pledge to only consider black women for the seat. And there are a number of names already circulating, especially two at the very top there, Federal Appeals Court Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson and California Supreme Court Justice Leandra Kruger.
Fox's Doug Luzader. A Biden vaccine mandate, Supreme Court upheld as legal, takes effect today for healthcare workers at facilities that get federal funding. In the states that didn't challenge the mandate, other states come later.
However, a facility won't be subject to enforcement if at least 80% of staff have either been vaccinated or have an exemption, and the facility has a plan to reach 100% vaccination within 60 days.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The U.S. military has kicked out 23 more service members for refusing to get the order to get a COVID vaccine. They were in the Navy. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather first from the WinBet Traffic and Weather Center. Download the WinBet app today on the Apple Store or Google Play. Win with WinBet.
This report is sponsored by Macy's. It's Macy's Big Home Sale. Stock up on fresh sheets and bedding from Charter Club, Damask Designs, or shop specials, like air fryers from Bella, Crux, and more, and the spacious 4-piece Radley sectional. Plus, Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees.
Earlier accident 75 northbound at Clark Street. That collision is clear. Seeing a slow go from at least Dearborn Street. Ramp restrictions reported 94 westbound at 9 Mile. Accident on the exit ramp in St. Clair Shores. Groesbeck Highway at Utica. Accident in Fraser causing delays. Also stop and go along M14 westbound after Gottfriedson. An accident reported there. 696 westbound tapping the brakes between DeQuinder and 75. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Buying or leasing a vehicle today can be almost impossible. No inventory. No worries. When you buy the Gordon Chevrolet way, get your vehicle quickly by reserving one of over 500 vehicles they've already pre-ordered. Ford Road, just west of Merriman and Garden City. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. Breezy, cold, cloudy today. A few flurries or snow showers, a high of 27. Tonight, cloudy skies, your low 10. Even colder on Friday. Some clouds, some sun mixed, a high of 18. Currently 9 degrees with the wind chill feels like -8. I'm Dana Clark, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Our lives are a collection of experiences, moments of happiness or times of great loss. First homes, new babies, property loss, even heartache. Knowing that your insurance provider is always close by offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Now WJR Health Watch. Here's Dick Hafner.
COVID, flu, and colds aren't the only respiratory infections this winter. Sinus infections love the cold. Dr. Ismail Amjad of McLaren Health in Fenton, Flint, and Metamora says there's plenty of space in the sinuses where things can go wrong.
We have a sinus in our forehead called the frontal sinus. We have sinuses between the eyes, which are called the ethmoid sinuses, and we have sinuses in the cheeks. We call them maxillary sinuses. We have a sinus all the way in the back of the nose called the sphenoid sinus.
Mucus protects us from things going into the lungs. Too much mucus is one sign of infection. Dr. Amjad says,
You get lots of rest, drink lots of fluid, and if you do have lots of drainage, you can take some over-the-counter medications for short periods of time. A lot of times, these acute sinus infections are caused by a virus which will run its course. When it gets to be past 10 days, someone should seek medical care from their regular doctor, or they can come in to see me. A lot of times they can benefit from an antibiotic. The antibiotic will only help them if it is a bacterial sinus infection. Sometimes you can get what we call a secondary bacterial sinusitis after you've had a virus because the sinus passages are plugged and cause a bacterial infection. Sometimes we combine the antibiotics with a steroid. The steroid will decrease the swelling in the lining of the nose and the sinuses to allow those outflow passages to open so that the sinuses can start becoming healthy again.
Dr. Ismail Amjad of McLaren. I'm Dick Hafner for WJR Health Watch.
2022 will be another exciting year for General Motors as we continue to deliver on our plan for 30 new electric vehicles globally by 2025. You'll see the latest examples this year with the all-new GMC Hummer EV, the production of the all-new all-electric Cadillac Lyriq, And of course, the big news this month, the unveiling of the all-new Chevrolet Silverado EV. GM's strategy of an all-electric future is happening now. And we can't wait to show you what's next.
Welcome to this Paul W. Smith special edition on 760 WJR, the Michigan 2022 State of the State Address. This special live coverage is sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Here's Paul.
And we give a special thanks to the folks at Farm Bureau Insurance, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital Association for making this possible. A broadcast that we usually do annually in person in Lansing the morning after the governor gives the State of the State address. We've been doing that for years. But now the last couple of years it's been virtual. Here's hoping that next year that is not the case. But it is now, and we're glad you're with us on either WJR's Facebook page or WJR.com. It is Thursday, January 27th, the 27th day of 2022, with 338 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift, and we have the team together, along with Ann Thomas, our executive producer and assistant program director, and Sean Maligian, and more interesting guests coming up. In fact, Brian Peters, the CEO of the Michigan Health and Hospital Association, his members affected by what the governor had to say last night. We'll get his thoughts and opinions on that. We're trying to track down Senator Mike Shirkey, and we don't have word yet if he's going to be here. And Ryan Duffy from Enbridge will be here to talk with us as well. I do have a question for Sean, the sports expert on our team. It's a lot to bear on your shoulders, Sean, but I know you have broad shoulders and you can handle this since you live, eat, breathe sports. Mike McDonald, the Michigan defensive coordinator, came a year ago. Nice gig. I mean, his salary was like $1 million plus potential, I don't know, $500,000 more for incentives. That's a lot of money. Is that what assistant coaches and coordinators and other specialists are making on the sidelines in college now?
Yeah, you are seeing quite the pay hike for a lot of these guys at the major programs, to be sure. And what happens besides that, Paul, is a lot of times the head coach, especially if a head coach has success, is going to go to bat not only for himself but for his staff. I need what I need to compete at this high level. So you're seeing a lot of that around major college football now. It is
that's amazing.
Quite frankly,
and
a
he
big
was
business.
here a year. I'm sorry, you dropped off, so I thought you were done.
No, it is a big business, to be sure, Paul.
It is indeed, and it's a family business here because he's going back to be with Jim Harbaugh's brother, and it was Jim Harbaugh's brother who said to Jim, "This is a guy you ought to hire," off of his staff. But now he's going back to that job. I got to tell you, Angelique Shingalis does such a great job. I like this line here. Jim Harbaugh talking about when he hired this kid. I had gotten a lot of recommendations from a lot of people that I really trust in football. Guys I love like a brother. But this came from John, his real brother. And I even asked him, John, I mean, that's pretty awesome that you would recommend somebody you think so highly of that's on your staff. And he said, well, I really love Michigan football, and I really love you. So I want to see you both be successful. God bless Angelique for capturing something like that. These are football coaches talking about love, and it's just I find it very special. But here's the point of why I brought this up.
All right.
And you notice when we're on camera, if our hands go closer to the camera, it looks like we have gigantic hands. I'm just noticing that. That's like the first time I was giving a speech somewhere, and they had a big screen of me. And I looked and I saw this huge bald spot on the back of my head that I had never seen My brother Mark always says, you're going bald back there. And I say, yeah, right. Well, there I saw on the screen. Just now I saw my hands become monster hands with my Michigan ring. Anyway, the concern always is, of course, that if people are jumping off, and this is only one guy, off the team at Michigan, does that mean they know something we don't know about what Coach Harbaugh's plans are? They say no. They say that's got nothing to do with anything.
That's a good question, Paul.
Yeah, but I don't think so, Paul. I really don't. The further this goes along, the more I think that Coach Harbaugh is inclined to stay. Now,
I hope so.
I want to say 100%. That is a guess. I don't have any inside information. I think today, Paul, part of the nature of business is sometimes people pass thoughts off as some kind of insider info. That's not insider info. I just think the further this goes along, the more I think that Coach Harbaugh will stay at Michigan. This is a great opportunity for him, to have the opportunity for that position in the National Football League. I would hope that every coach would give their blessing for him to take this opportunity.
Yeah, I think because it's among brothers, I think that Jim Harbaugh certainly has done that and said, hey, look, you got an opportunity to go back. Does it pay a lot more? I know it's not all about money, but it usually is about money somewhere in there. Does it pay a lot more to be working in the pros now?
I'm sure it will pay more. How much more? I'm not sure, but in that regard, yeah, I'm sure it'll pay more. And it's stature. There's no doubt about it. You're at the National Football League, and in the regards, you don't have to go out recruiting and things like that. You have a real off season. So there are a lot of people that feel that is quite the bonus when you're working in the National Football League.
On another topic, Ann, I got a press release from Chief James Craig for governor from his people. I don't know if he's got new people working on him or something. I haven't seen a press release like this one. I'm wondering if the other news media, are going to him this morning and asking for his thoughts on the governor's state of the state, since he is, at the moment, the best known or leader, I guess, of the Republicans running against her. I don't know if that's happened or not. Maybe we need to talk to him.
Yeah, that's not a bad thought, Paul. It's possible. People are saying, what did you think? We know what he's going to say, but
that's the problem.
That's a good point, Paul.
It is the problem the day after the state of the state. You
can almost know what you're going to get.
You can write the script for the Dems and the Republicans, and, it's just the way it is. But we do talk to them, and we need to, and that's why we're here. Coming up, Brian Peters, CEO of the Michigan Health and Hospital Association. Looking forward to that conversation. For a lot of good reasons. It's 8:14 at WJR.
The problem with New Year's resolutions? They're hard to keep and not so much fun. But if you're looking to make better financial decisions in the new year, here's a radio show that can help you get there and enjoy the ride. Tune in this weekend for Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky, presented by Edelman Financial Engines. Each week, award-winning journalist Soledad O'Brien and personal finance expert Gene Chatsky will explore how our financial decisions shape our everyday lives and why wealth is about more than just money. They'll be joined by Edelman Financial Engine's wealth planners and other guests to help demystify challenges like generational planning, retirement income, and tax-efficient investing. New episodes of Everyday Wealth will air every weekend and will be available on major podcast platforms. For air times, visit everydaywealth.com.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your
Hello, Brian.
Yes, good
and
morning.
if you can hear me. Okay.
Getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the
I can do the commercial next here.
and
I
what
was on the
happened.
phone with Senator
Good news.
Shirkey.
EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask.
I don't hear anything now. I do not hear anything.
Help solve food insecurity in Michigan. Hear thought leaders from across the state on Food First Michigan with Dr. Phil Knight and Jerry Brisson. Sunday nights at 9 on WJR, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan and the Food Bank Council of Michigan.
Missing football on Thursdays? Well, you can still turn every Thursday into payday with NBA on TNT on FanDuel Sportsbook. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. FanDuel's giving all customers $10 back every Thursday. Just bet a $10 or more same-game parlay on any NBA on TNT game. Same-game parlays let you combine the money line, point spread, player props, and more, all into one wager. So many NBA market options, player point total, rebounds, assists, money line, over-under, point spread, the list goes on and on. You can root for your favorite players, create your own player-focused parlay, chance to put a small bet down, and win big. Odds are high, which results in great payouts. It's the perfect way to turn a small bet into a big-time score. And win or lose, you're guaranteed to get $10 added to your account. Easy to use, odds boosts and specials every day. Some bigger super boosts each weekend. Live betting, it's easy to place your bet fast. In fact, during a game, if you see a trend you like, you can put some money down. Get $10 back every Thursday, win or lose, with TNT Thursdays. If you're new to FanDuel, just sign up with promo code Paul W, one word, Paul W, to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000 and make every moment more this NBA season. That's promo code Paul W, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app.
21 and older and present in Michigan. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Maximum bonus $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-71.
Keeps dropping off.
Actually, I took it off so I can hear Brian's mic. Hi, Brian.
Okay.
I just
Unfortunately, when we took it off last time, the commercial ended and he wanted me to start the FanDuel, but I couldn't hear anything. So we have to you guys have to communicate with each other.
Okay, Brian, I just need a quick mic check, please.
Yes, good morning. It's Brian Peters.
All right. And can you hear us good, Paul?
Yeah, I hear you guys sometimes way too loud, but I do hear you, and I hear Brian. Brian, nice to have you here. Nice to see you.
Okay, I will stick Brian back, and I will bring back up the station. Thanks.
Warren. Now WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies for us here today. Not quite as cold as we were yesterday. Southwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. There is a chance for a few flurries or a couple of snow showers later today, 27. A couple of snow showers tonight. Otherwise, cloudy skies, low near 7. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ken Boone on News Talk 760 WJR.
Now back to live coverage of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's virtual State of the State address for 2022, sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
And speaking of the Michigan Health and Hospital Association, Brian Peters, the CEO, is here with us. And nice to have you here. It's nice to be able to actually see you when I'm talking to you, Brian.
Well, I agree. Feelings mutual, Paul W. And good morning. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Did you hear what you wanted to hear from the governor? Or do you have a thought on that at all?
Well, certainly the theme of believing in Michigan is one that resonates with me and with our member hospitals and health systems throughout the state as well, because we certainly believe in the future of this state. And as you know, our hospitals are here for all 10 million Michiganders every single day, whether that's as a provider of care or whether it's as an economic engine, as we are in many instances the largest employer in our respective communities. And so I like the overall theme. And certainly the governor did touch on a number of key healthcare issues as well. So I thought the presentation was well done and really cause for optimism for everybody going forward.
Yeah, and that's what a State of the State address is not always about the reality of some of the bumps in the road that we've gone through and that we might have ahead. It's a feel-good speech, and on that count, I think she did a fine job. I'm very concerned, and Brian, you and I have talked about this, about what's going on in our hospitals, the ongoing staffing crisis. I even look beyond. There is a beyond this pandemic, and how many people are going to just decide to go into different careers or retire early or any number of things. Michigan hospitals have lost approximately 875 staffed beds statewide over the past year, which is the equivalent of a whole large urban hospital.
Well, that's exactly right, Paul W. And nothing happened to those physical beds. The reality is we just simply don't have enough staff, whether that's clinical staff or non-clinical, to keep those beds functional. So as you said, nearly 1,000 beds fewer that are available for our Michiganders today than a year ago. And unfortunately, that's a trend that is likely to continue for a period of time. We're doing as much as we possibly can to mitigate that situation and ensure access to all, because those healthcare needs, whether it's COVID related or not, continue. And the reality is we need the help of the Michigan public to do the right thing to mitigate the continued pandemic. But we need the help of our elected officials as well. And we do have legislation that's passed the Michigan House. We're optimistic and hopeful it's going to move in the Senate soon as well, that would help to create new funding opportunities to both assist with recruitment and retention in the short term, but also to develop the healthcare workforce pipeline into the future. Because you're exactly right. This was a problem that predated the pandemic. Pandemics made it worse. And we're certainly not out of the woods by any means when it comes to our healthcare workforce challenges.
You know, we're spending some time with Brian Peters, CEO of the Michigan Health and Hospital Association. You know what occurs to me, Brian? Growing up in Monroe, Michigan, I knew a lot of people who were volunteers at the hospital. We had Mercy Hospital and Memorial Hospital. I think we have one hospital there now, but there were volunteers. A lot of them. I had a lot of family members, friends of my parents and other people that were volunteers at the hospital. I hardly hear about that anymore at all. You still need volunteers, don't you?
Well, we absolutely do. And we've been blessed for many years to have hospital volunteers or auxilians who have donated their time and energy and been incredibly helpful to us. Right now, in the midst of this pandemic, though, we do need volunteers more than ever to do a number of things. And in fact, early in the pandemic, we collaborated with the Whitmer administration, and there is still a active website that is available within the state website that you can actually find very easily. Google is helpful as always, but that website is a one-stop shop, if you will, to match willing and able volunteers with opportunities throughout the state of Michigan. And certainly, as you said, our hospitals, both large and small, urban and rural, we need all the help we can possibly get. So appreciate you mentioning that opportunity.
What website, webpage, or whatever for people to sign up?
Well, certainly with the State of Michigan website, the Whitmer administration, within that website, and I don't have the actual link available at this moment, but we can follow up with that for sure with your listeners, Paul W.
Very quickly, a couple of quick issues. There is light, seemingly light, at the end of the tunnel. I don't want to, say it too soon, but it does seem that admissions and total COVID-19 hospitalizations are declining statewide.
They are. We are at just over 4,100 inpatient hospitalizations today in our Michigan hospitals. That contrasts with all-time record high just a couple of weeks ago of around 4,900. And so you're right, we've seen a significant decline. That has not been the case in every region of the state. Some of these changes are localized. But there is cause for optimism here. The problem, though, back to our earlier conversation, is that we continue to have so many hospital employees that are out of the hospital with COVID themselves. They're in that quarantine period. and we need them back as soon as they're healthy enough to do so.
We're going to leave them with this thought because it's significant. Yeah, I'm sorry I have to bring it up, but there is across the country a significant growing rate of incidents of violence against our frontline caregivers. Hard to imagine, hard to explain. I'm not going to blame COVID this or that. We were blaming shootings on the highways to COVID, and it turns out shootings on the highways happened before we even had highways. But what about this problem of people turning on the people there to help them?
Well, it's incredibly frustrating, and I think all of us are accustomed to seeing the viral videos of these acts of violence on an airplane, for example. But the reality is this is happening far more frequently in a hospital or healthcare setting. And we understand that patients and their loved ones, their caretakers, get frustrated for all sorts of reasons. But you have to understand that our caregivers are doing all they possibly can in a very challenging environment. And we need to show some patience. We need to show some grace. Paul W., I know you've likely seen the signs, as I have, in the lobbies of our restaurants that say, please be patient. We are at full capacity, but we are short-staffed. You could put that sign in the hospital lobby of any one of our member organizations throughout the state of Michigan, and it would be perfectly accurate. We are at full capacity. We are short-staffed. We're doing all that we possibly can. And this sort of behavior, both verbal and in some cases physical violence, absolutely unacceptable.
Totally unacceptable. Over your shoulder, I see part of your mission statement. What's that say? We advance. What's it say?
We advance the health of individuals and communities, and that has been our focus for some time now. And it means that we collaborate with any willing partner. We know that just the activity that occurs inside the four walls of an acute care community hospital, while that's critically important, if we're going to get where we need to be as a state and improve the health status of Michiganders, we need to partner with not only our elected leaders and policymakers, but with other organizations as well. And
we're all in. We're all in with you. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Paul W.
When you fill your prescriptions at Walgreens, you can track the progress of your order in real time. Know the price of your prescriptions before you go to pick them up. And anytime you have questions, use Pharmacy Chat to ask an expert 24 hours a day. Help with your meds from Walgreens. Side effects may include breathing a little easier because your prescription stress melted away. Learn more on the Walgreens app.
This price isn't final. This is an estimated price based on your insurance coverage.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. And now, during our January sale, save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition smart bed, plus special financing, only for a limited time. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
Watching TaxSlayer calculate your refund feels like climbing to the apex of a roller coaster. Here we go! And flying down the tracks. At maximum refund speed. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer has not actually announced plans to retire, which Fox and others have confirmed. We're also told he was surprised the news got out.
It's not clear how this leak happened yesterday, but Breyer has been under enormous pressure from Democrats to step down to ensure a liberal replacement. The White House confirms that the president will follow through in his campaign pledge to only consider black women for the seat.
Fox's Doug Luzader. There's a winter storm watch up for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast.
A nor'easter this weekend rides up the East Coast. Computer models still in disagreement on how much of an impact the storm will have. Winter weather advisories are posted from the Carolinas up into New England. I'm Janice Dean, Fox News.
The South Korean military reports the North Koreans have conducted their 6th missile test this month, launching 2 more into the sea. America's listening to Fox News.
Wjr Traffic and Weather first.
This report is sponsored by Macy's. It's Macy's Big Home Sale. Stock up on fresh sheets and bedding from Charter Club, Damask Designs, or shop specials, like air fryers from Bella, Crux, and more, and the spacious 4-piece Radley sectional. Plus, Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift cards, services, and fees.
Accident M14 westbound after Gotfredson Road. That collision is clear in Dearborn Heights. Watch for a crash along Telegraph northbound at Warren. That accident has you slow from Haas Road. Also tapping the brakes along 96 eastbound between Wixom and Beck. Now WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Expecting it to be breezy, cold, cloudy, some flurries. A little bit warmer, high of 27 today. Tonight, cloudy skies, overnight low 10. Back into the teens on Friday, some clouds, some sun, more clouds in the afternoon, a high of 18. Currently 9 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR Traffic and Weather first.
It's the Start Something New sales event, but it all ends Monday, January 31st at
Hi,
9
Ryan.
p.m. Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi, friends.
Okay,
Phil Dunn, some of the great lease
can you hear the
programs.
station
For
and
example,
Paul?
qualified Chrysler employees can lease
Yeah,
a
I can hear
2022
you
Chrysler
and the
Pacifica Limited
station,
all-wheel drive
Okay.
for just $439 a month.
Right
This is
after
for
the
39
spots,
months,
we're going to bring you
10,000
in.
miles here
Okay.
with 2,000 down. For the finest
All
in
right.
sales,
Does
service,
that-
and
is
support,
that okay?
associates, you'll be glad you did. That's Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at golling.com.
I have a question for you. Who do you trust? Will government programs like Social Security and Medicare always be there? Will the stock market just keep piling up gains year after year? With over $30 trillion in national debt, do you really see taxes going down? These are the same questions that have kept me up at night and as I approach retirement. The same questions that I trust my good friend Chris Alberta at Principium to answer for me. Chris answered all our questions and helped us kind of rearrange our portfolio in a way that we are nearly insulated from the events that could create financial failure. It's not about how much you've made, but how much you keep. How much will be left behind, if you'd like, for your spouse and children. Every dollar protected from inflation. Every dollar. Every excessive tax. Every unnecessary fee. All of that money is a dollar that's working its hardest for you instead of going out to others. You deserve the time, attention, and talent that Chris Alberta and his Principium team gave to me and are ready, willing, and able and anxious to give to you. You've thought about this. I know it's scary. I know it's hard to make the steps to do this. It's real easy to put off, but I beg you not to put this off. It's never too early, and frankly, it's never too late. But today's the day to do it. Take control of your future. Call Principium at 888-800-8949. I truly believe you'll be glad you did. You'll get a complimentary consultation from a guy who really does care. 888-800-8949. 888-800-8949. Chris Alberta, Principium. It's 8:35.
What are the 5 personal finance topics that matter most today? For the answer to this and more, tune to The Truth About Your Future with best-selling author and internationally recognized financial advisor Rick Edelman. Sunday mornings at 8 on 760 WJR.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Is your prostate waking you up more often than your alarm clock? The fact is, the older you get, the more likely you'll have prostate problems, which can affect your everyday life. That's where Prostate Complete by Real Health comes in. Prostate Complete is the result of 20 years of experience as a leader in men's health. The powerful formula in Prostate Complete supports natural prostate function and reduced urinary urges for a better quality of life. Available at Walmart. Visit prostateoneperday.com for special offers. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
They're creepy and they're kooky, and they're on stage at Riverbank Theater in Marine City. The Addams Family Musical runs January 28th through February 27th and is fun for the whole family. Tickets on sale now. Visit riverbanktheater.com to purchase.
Now back to live coverage of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's virtual State of the State address for 2022, sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
8:37, 12 degrees. It's a veritable heat wave from what we started at this morning. We're checking in now with one of our sponsors, and we appreciate the support always as we support Enbridge. Ryan Duffy's here, Enbridge Communications Strategist. Nice to see you, and I mean that rather literally because I can see you, Ryan. We're at WJR.com or our WJR Facebook page. Hope you're having a good day so far.
Yeah, good morning, Paul. Thanks so much for having me on today.
You know why I'm having you on. I want an update. I want an update on our Great Lakes Tunnel project. Where do we stand?
Well, yeah, so we're very focused on that project. We're moving it forward. We are making good progress. We continue to work with the permitting agencies, our regulators, tunnel experts, engineers, so that we can move this closer to construction. So that's really the next step. We've invested more than $100 million in the project already on that pre-construction work. So the design, the engineering, the permitting, all of that. We do have one permit from Eagle already, so that's the state permit. And then we need to get on to getting the permits from the U.S. Army Corps and the Michigan Public Service Commission. So that's what we're working on right now. We are seeing a lot of support for the project. We know from the poll results we're seeing 70% of Michiganders support the project. We've had more than 30 counties pass resolutions supporting the project. We're seeing support from labor groups, business groups, the Canadian government, of course. So we're really locked in, laser focused on advancing this project. And just on a side note, if you or any of your listeners are up in the St. Ignace area, we have now opened our Great Lakes Tunnel Project Information Center up there. So we're going to have updates there. People can come in. There's displays. Learn more about the project as we go.
Look, the fact of the matter is, this is the best solution going forward, the tunnel. We've heard that all along. If you want to say why again, you're welcome to. But the reality is, I haven't heard of any other ideas. I haven't heard of a better solution. And we need that energy.
Well, we do. And you're right. We're the only ones, I think, that have put forward this solution. And we're about solutions. And yeah, putting a replacement new section of pipeline inside the tunnel, it does, of course, enhance safety, makes what's been a safe pipeline that much safer. But then at the same time, you ensure that energy that people rely on every day to heat homes, cook food, get where they need to go. You make sure that continues to be delivered. And then on top of that, the project would generate Michigan jobs as well. So yeah, it's just a great solution, we feel, for all those reasons, especially when you look at some of the alternatives to Line 5. If you look at the trucks it would take to move that energy, the train cars, barges, I mean, you just can't do it. And plus, those are more polluting ways of moving the energy than a pipeline.
And riskier ways.
For sure.
of moving
For
energy,
sure.
frankly. So one thing that we haven't talked about as we're spending time with Ryan Duffy, Enbridge communications strategist, is with the world changing, whether we all want it to or not, it is, and energy is changing. We're moving more toward the renewables and such. Where does a pipeline and this tunnel fit in, carrying these fossil fuels that some people have demonized completely?
Sure. So Enbridge has committed to being a leader in this energy transition, which is happening, and we need it to happen. It's right in our name, Enbridge. We want to be an energy bridge to the future of energy and be a leader in the transition, and we have been. We have more than 22 wind farms around the world. We have solar facilities, other renewable facilities. We've committed to making a drastic reduction in our emissions by 2035, and then to be net zero emissions by 2050. So we're absolutely committed to that. At the same time, though, we know you have to make sure existing infrastructure continues to be safe and well maintained and continues to protect the environment. So that's really where the tunnel project comes in. It ensures that energy is moved safely, but that it also does continue to move safely, because people will still need to heat their homes in this transition and get where they need to go. And propane is so critically important. We're seeing that right now in the dead of winter, and Line 5 is providing more than half the propane used in Michigan. And Michigan uses a lot of propane, more than any other state.
Is that right? Michigan uses more propane than any other state?
It does.
I would think, Florida must use a lot of propane, because there's a lot of areas in Florida that don't even know about natural. Well, they know about it, but they don't have any ability to tap into natural gas.
Right. Well, we're seeing it right now. I mean, so many people are heating their homes with propane, and we hear a lot about how important it is up in the UP. And we do provide the materials to produce for more than 65% of the propane that's used in the UP. But the Lower Peninsula actually uses 10 times the amount of propane as what's used up in the UP. So it's important to get everywhere, to all parts of the state, because it is important for people, especially right now. I mean, it's hard to imagine where it would be if there was an interruption to Line 5 right now in the dead of winter.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it. I want you to build your tunnel. I want you to encase that line to make it even safer than it's been, and for us to move on and have something else to talk about, rather than trying to convince people how important that propane is to everybody, and how important that Line 5 is, and how all of us want it to be safe, obviously, including Enbridge. So good for you. Keep up the good work. Any last thoughts that we missed? Anything you need to say?
No, we're committed to delivering energy. It's our responsibility. We take it seriously. So we're very much focused on that and keeping Line 5 safe. And even given that it's always been safe, the solution for the future is the tunnel project. So we're going to keep moving that forward.
Thanks for your support, Ryan. We appreciate it. Nice to talk with you. Keep up the good work. Ryan Duffy, Enbridge communication strategist. And before we get out of here, we're going to speak with the Michigan Senate Majority Leader, Mike Shirkey, coming up next here on the Paul W. Smith Show at WJR.
Hi, Matt Darko here with Bill Brown Ford. Frankenmuth has the world's largest Christmas store. Allen Park has the world's largest tire. Here in Livonia, we have our own record to talk about. Bill Brown Ford is officially the #1 Ford dealer in America, and we couldn't have done it without the help of each and every customer along the way. Being #1 means much more to us than just selling cars. It means doing business the right way is still the best way. Bill Brown Ford in Livonia, proud to be your #1 Ford dealer in America.
#1 Ford dealer is based on Ford's new total retail sales report for 2021.
And good for you, Bill Brown. You've done a nice job bringing it back. World leader, where it belongs, in the Motor City. As more people are returning to the office, it's important to keep your staff fueled and hydrated throughout the day. Absopure can help you do just that with their office coffee and refreshment service. They have the brands, variety, and equipment needed to power productivity in the workplace. Absopure's offerings range from by-the-cup options from brands like Green Mountain and Starbucks to by-the-pot options, including their exclusive locally roasted Absopure premium coffees. Plus, Absolpure keeps offices fresh with seasonal flavors like, well, pumpkin spice, southern pecan. And once that perfect cup is brewed, Absolpure has all the general necessities to complete your sensational cup of coffee with everything from cups and creamers to stir sticks and sweeteners. Absolpure can help you find the solution that fits your business and budget. Visit Absolpure.com/WJR. That's Absolpure.com/WJR to sign up for Absolpure's office coffee service that we've done at our house and at the radio station, for that matter, in the past for years. You can also visit Absolpure.com to learn more about all of their products and convenient, reliable delivery service. Remember, great coffee begins with great water, and you need both. And you get both from Absolpure. It's 8:46 at 760 WJR.
Our lives are a collection of experiences, from fender benders and soggy basements to great joy and growing families. Sometimes life is unplanned. Knowing that your insurance provider is always close by offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Studies show that contamination of a single commonly touched surface in an office can impact 40 to 60% of other surfaces in less than half a day of operations. I'm John Ezzo, president of New Image Building Services. We've been helping design and service infection control plans for over 33 years. Let's build a plan for your business today.
Call New Image Building Services today at 586-465-4420 or visit newimagebldg.com. Join Paul W. Smith as he talks to all the movers and shakers making the biggest difference in the D. It's Opportunity Detroit, presented by Rocket Mortgage, every Sunday at 1 p.m. on News Talk 760 WJR.
Jim was getting ready to transfer a $65,000 deposit for a new house. The morning of the wire transfer, he got an email giving him new banking instructions. Little did he know, cyber criminals had sent this fraudulent email. Now Jim is out $65,000 and isn't moving. Independent and Michigan-based Liberty Title can protect your real estate transaction with their umbrella program that ensures and secures your closing dollars. You have a choice. Choose libertytitle.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather first from the WinBet Traffic and Weather Center. Download the WinBet app today on the Apple Store or Google Play. Win with WinBet.
This report is sponsored by Macy's. It's Macy's Big Home Sale. Stock up on fresh sheets and bedding from Charter Club, Damask Designs, or shop specials, like air fryers from Bella, Crux, and more, and the spacious 4-piece Radley sectional. Plus, Macy's Star Rewards members earn on every purchase except gift card, services, and fees.
All earlier accidents are now clear. We do have a police situation along the Lodge southbound between the Davison and Hamilton. It is closed there. Traffic is stopped from at least Linwood. Avoid the area. A police investigation occurring. You can take 75 instead. Also, your Davison eastbound and westbound ramps to Lodge southbound are closed due to that investigation. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel.
All right, but mostly cloudy skies today. A couple of flurries or even a few snow showers possible today. Gusty southwest winds, highs upper 20s. A couple of snow showers tonight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, cold, low near 7. We're in and out of the clouds tomorrow. Colder, high 18. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ken Boone on News Talk 760 WJR.
Now back to live coverage of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's virtual State of the State address for 2022. Sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan, Enbridge, and the Michigan Hospital and Health Association. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
Truly a pleasure and a privilege to welcome back to the Paul W. Smith Show, Michigan Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey. Mr. Leader, always a pleasure speaking with you.
The privilege and pleasure is all mine, sir.
I have to tell you, in reading some of your comments that you made 4 hours before the governor faced us with her State of the State address, it looks as if she heard those comments, took them to heart, and worked them into her speech.
Yeah, I was happy with the tone of her message, but it was a fairly predictable election year message, but there is plenty in that message that if we roll our sleeves up and try to set aside partisan differences, there are plenty of things in there that we can actually work on.
And that's the big question always in every, not just election year, but in every administration. Can everyone set aside certain things to get other things done that there is agreement on? And you had said you were going to push for in-person classes. She made it very clear that she supports that. She talked about tax reductions. Now, it's not quite the same as the state Senate panel approving sweeping $2.3 billion tax cuts, but it does look like, maybe because it's an election year, but that she was reaching out and saying, let's work together. Do you believe her? Are her actions in line with her words?
Well, I think in some cases, yes, but we're going to find out because all those things have been and will continue to be high priorities for Senate Republicans. And we're going to send a package of bills related to tax relief for Michigan citizens to her. We'll find out if she's sincere about it, and that is special interest tax reforms. We corrected a very unfair part of our tax code a number of years ago, and I'm not really interested in going back and revisiting that. But if we want to do broad-based tax relief, I think that's perfectly appropriate. Government's best role is removing friction and obstacles from people so that they can pursue their highest and best productivity and lives. And taxes are one of those sources of friction and obstacles. Another one is getting kids back in the classroom. And we really have two different sets of schools in Michigan right now. 95% or more of schools are working diligently and working hard to overcome obstacles to have kids in seats all the time. There's a stutter and start there because of absenteeism of staff due to the COVID, but they are absolutely open with kids in seats. But we have a very small percentage of schools. Frankly, they're also the schools that receive the most federal money in the state that are being stubborn and are still not welcoming students to be in the classrooms. And I was hoping that the governor would be a little more forceful on that front, and we're going to continue to press that message. And then behavioral health, that's been a high priority of mine for the last 3 years and will continue to be this year. And the governor mentioning that she's willing to work on that was a big positive from my perspective anyway. And I'm hoping that we can really roll our sleeves up and accomplish something big there.
Well, it sounds like you can. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful with our conversation with her earlier. And I'm hopeful with what you're saying as the Michigan Senate Majority Leader, Mike Shirkey. This all sounds good. Now, I don't know if this is the state of the state honeymoon period or what, but I like what I'm hearing.
Well, there's a couple of items in the state of the state that are problematic. I mean, government's role, as I mentioned a moment ago, is remove friction from people's lives or remove obstacles. It's not the government's role to insert themselves into the routine elements of our economy and price fixing and government subsidized incentives. Those two things just aren't. That's not where we should be working. In fact, we're seeing the results of that now with the rampant inflation across the state and the nation. And so those kinds of things, I hope we can just set aside because they're not helpful, and frankly, they may be counterproductive in the long term. Well,
it's been a big concern and a bit of a theme in my questioning of everyone that has been on today, and that is there's just an embarrassment of riches right now. We have so much money. We're not used to swimming in all this money, but we have to remember, first of all, it's our money coming back or money that we're going to have to pay down the road. But to have all of this federal money here to do so many things, I fear we can become drunk with that and start doing things that in a couple of years when the federal money isn't coming in like an ocean, that we're going to have trouble keeping those things going. So I'm very concerned about how we use that federal money. I think there are a lot of things we can do that are one-timers, that we do it and get things done, like the roads or any number of other things. But if we start to put in plans and start to depend on that money, that's when it goes away.
your instincts are spot on, Paul. And by the way, you sound like a governor, and I think that'd be a wonderful opportunity for you to step in and help us out here.
Yeah,
I'm teasing you, of course.
You bet you're teasing me. You know, there's not a chance in the world for anything like that.
But our operating principle on this federal money, these one-time monies, is capital constrained projects that do not result in long-term increase in operating expenses year after year after year, that actually provide a measurable return on investment to taxpayers, or they're transformational. And some of the money that we use to set up the funds for helping grease the skids for the GM announcement and investment, that's a perfect example. It doesn't result in ongoing costs. It is absolutely has the potential of being transformational. And obviously there was a capital constraint there for us being able to compete with other locations around the country and around the world. So we're going to continue to use those criteria as we propose plans for spending that money. We should not be in a big hurry, but we should be diligent about it, and not wait around.
Well, I have to tell you, your committee advancing the $2.3 billion tax cut proposal, with the majority of the Republicans contending the state's financial surpluses should be used to provide across-the-board relief, certainly strikes a good chord with me. And it sounds fiscally responsible, but it also sounds fiscally fair, which would be a nice a change of pace, wouldn't it? Appreciate your help.
You're welcome, sir. And thanks for having me on.
We always like talking with the Michigan State Senate Majority Leader, Mike Shirkey. Thank you, sir. Thanks to all of our guests who've been with us today. And a special thank you to our sponsors that could bring you this State of the State broadcast virtually today. Of course, the good folks at Farm Bureau Insurance, Enbridge, and the Michigan Health and Hospital Association. Stick around. There's more great programming coming your way. The Talk, All Talk here with the boys. Regards, Paul W. Smith.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
If your mom is warmer with your children than she is with you, a new study says, don't take it personally. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's chief medical correspondent. No relationship is easy. Perhaps nowhere is that more obvious than in our relationship